The industry perspective is a space for those in the industry to speak freely about their experiences without fear of retaliation or a negative review. The views and opinions shared here are solely that of the individual and do not reflect the establishments in which they work. With that said, if you feel offended by these jokes, fuck it. We weren't expecting to get tipped by you anyway.
More, activity. Right?
Salute.
Punja.
All right. Here we go.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the podcast where we pull back the curtain, give you some insight what goes on behind the scenes of your favorite bar and restaurant. We like to call that the industry perspective.
What's up, motherfuckers?
I am 2 punches away on my free privilege punch card from a free sandwich. So Ryan Tracy here.
Do you have a tag that you want to throw in?
I guess. A tag. 2 punches on the. I have 2 punches. That's impressive. But how many punches did you need to acquire?
I use my privilege a lot.
10. Yeah. Eddie Zamora, aka the Yum Yum Foodie on social media, and thanks for having me here, guys.
Of course, man.
Give him a like, give him a follow. Of course, we have to do that. We love this man. He's giving us his time of day. So
hell yeah, we
absolutely.
appreciate you.
Oh, man.
Appreciate you
Thanks for having me.
man. Yeah.
For real.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
It was when Brandon told me like that you were the rep and who you are, this and that. I'm like, oh man, this guy just sounds like somebody that needs to come on. And he told me you had your own show and podcast and this and that. I'm like, okay, you need to get this guy on at some point somehow. So I started shooting the shit with you, and then the conversation came up. So thanks for coming.
Hell yeah, man. I like supporting good people. That's the only way that the what's it called? Rising tide, it rises all ships. Or high tide rises all ships, right? Yeah, lifts all boats. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Capsize, but that's a whole different story.
That's some Titanic shit, There was plenty of room on that door for Jack, dude. She fucking let him die. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you got your start, how you got into it, what do you do now.
Tell us about your podcast too, so everybody can
sure, for sure. So I'm originally born and raised in Miami, Florida, son of Cuban exiles, and moved to LA to work in television like so many people do. And I did work in television. I studied theater and music in school, and as an actor, like so many people that are in the entertainment business, at some way, shape, or form, sometimes you end up working in hospitality, learning about hospitality. I started working for a catering company, and it was like real like high end catering company, and that's where I learned how to cook out of circumstance, because I couldn't cook for shit. That's how I learned like the most basic stuff, to be real. Like I could fry an egg, and then all of a sudden they're like throwing me into the fire, quote unquote, and then I had to learn
fry an egg.
How do I scramble this
for
egg?
real, man. For real. And then through a series of crazy events that I would not be able to recreate, I started a blog writing about my travels, because I used to travel for work. Another job that I did, I would travel a lot for work, and I would write about all the places I went to. And I became kind of a go-to resource for this. This was in the early, there was no Instagram, there was barely Twitter, and it was just like a
there's
website.
Still barely Twitter.
Now there's barely Twitter, but man, let me tell you, Twitter changed my life. I was, I used to work for a car company, Lexus. I was one of the spokespeople, so I would travel all the country doing auto shows, special events, food and wine festivals, because Lexus, the way Nike would sponsor LeBron James, Lexus will sponsor Chef Morimoto, Emeril Lagasse, that kind of a thing. So I was very blessed to do that kind of stuff. So anyway, fast forward, I'm working this event in Aspen, Colorado, in the fucking, it's cold as shit. And there's a Cuban kid from Miami, and I'm freezing my ass off. I'm standing on, for real. You understand Miami. And anyway, I'm standing on a corner like a hooker, and I'm trying to like get people to test drive cars, because they're gonna get like it's Aspen, it's a bunch of rich people,
right?
And I'm trying to get them to test drive a car so they get like $100 gift card to this nice restaurant at the St. Regis. Anyway, sorry, I'm taking a deep dive, and I just got my first Twitter account, which was my name. It was at Eddie Zamora. And I'm standing on this corner, like I said, I'm freezing my ass off. And buddy, some dude rolls up in like cycling gear, full cycling gear, and it's got to be 20 to 30 degrees, snows everywhere on the side of the road, and this dude is like camel toe, like tight fucking shirt, whatever. And he's, I don't know, maybe 100, 150 feet away from me, and he starts macking to these 2 pretty blonde girls that are like sitting there in front of this bakery. Anyway, I'm like, look at this motherfucker. I get into like hater mode, and I'm like, this fucking dude thinks he's Lance Armstrong, trying to mac to these chicks, blah, blah, blah. It's Lance Armstrong. He turns around and it's fucking Lance Armstrong. Swear to God. And so my point of Twitter is I get on my personal Twitter account and I make fun of him. Like I do like a little tongue in cheek, like, oh, Lance Armstrong's working really hard in Aspen, ha ha ha, whatever. Put my phone away. This is my first smartphone. I hear a beep like an hour and change later. I look down, my phone is drained. He had responded to me. And he had, I forgot how many millions of followers. This was before his controversy.
Oh, wow.
And the light bulb went off in my head. People were asking me, like, what bike does he ride? Was he doing this? Da, 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 da. The Tour de France liked it. Like, all this crazy shit, you know? And that was the moment that I was like, oh, my God, there's something really powerful about Twitter, social media, whatever. At the time, it was really just Twitter. Facebook was in the fledgling stage, but it wasn't what it is now. And then
Before
that was
the
the
boomers took over.
Yeah, man. And that was the genesis of starting my social media for the Yum Yum Foodie. And I knew that, like, you know, quote unquote, if you build it, they will come. Like, Field of Dreams. Like, that was Sorry, and that's just the Yum Yum Foodie. And the podcast came up by accident. That was like
that was a great conglomeration of it all. You really hit the points very well. It seems like you've done this before.
Sounds like
a little bit, for a while. A little bit.
Yeah, my favorite part was when you said this guy is trying to be Lance Armstrong, and then he actually was.
Dude, it was bonkers because I literally said that to myself. I'm like, this fool's trying to be Lance Armstrong, like trying to talk to these girls, you know, and like the bike, like the whole nine, the biker shorts, the tight ass fucking shirt, like, you know. Probably nipples were popping through it, like it was so fucking cold, and I'm like, oh, this fucking guy. Well, you know that person. Right. Like I'm looking, I'm like, oh, this fucking guy, and because I'm freezing my ass off. I'm like, oh yeah. What are you trying to show, dude? Oh wow, it's cold outside. You can fucking walk out here. Good for you. Yeah. And then of course I'm like, oh great, you're fucking Lance Armstrong.
I mean, you should have known it was him because the camel toe should have been just one camel hump. At that point.
That time it wasn't. He had both camel humps. At that time, he had both camel humps. That's why I wasn't. It was more like a moose knuckle than a camel toe. And he's not even Canadian. So I mean, really, it was. He was
forgetting that poutine.
He was forgetting that fucking Quebec poutine. Yeah.
He
bonkers.
was missing a little mozzarella from down under.
But now, who's winning now? I got both. That's true.
Most of the world is
cheers to that.
Lance Armstrong.
Oh my fucking God, that is great.
Yeah,
pleasure to be back, gentlemen.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Thanks for coming back.
Yeah, and we're back.
Thanks for making sure our rating goes from explicit to needs to be checked.
I'm sorry. Can I say fuck?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, well, you know.
Put the warning on there.
You know, I was just being facetious, just so I could say it over and over again. Huh?
We put a disclaimer that says
good.
Any and all stuff here.
Yeah, I literally say fuck in the disclaimer.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
good. My favorite word. It really is.
It is.
It's such a
favorite
good word.
Favorite thing to do.
It's a great sentence.
Favorite thing to tell someone to go do to themselves.
Yeah.
Go.
It's one of my favorite things to do to myself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw that right forearm, dude. Yeah.
You caught me.
It's better with a friend. That's all I can say.
So you mentioned that you started cooking, and so did you train as a chef or a line cook or anything?
No, not at all, man.
Okay.
Not at all. I was a school of self-taught. So I have tremendous respect for the culinary arts and people that have dedicated their lives to that. My thing was, you know, at the time, there's been an evolution now of like the chef on TV, where now you find a lot of people that can cook that are good on camera. When I started, I mean, it was not the case. There weren't that many people who could cook that could explain what they were doing in an engaging and entertaining way. And that's where I felt was my strength, because of the years of being on a microphone, traveling the country, and I could talk to somebody in Tulsa, Oklahoma, just as much as I could talk to somebody in Seattle, talk to somebody in New York City. I learned the people of the country. And I think that was a major asset for me when I started doing on-camera stuff. When those opportunities came up, was like I knew I knew how to talk through I felt like I knew how to talk through the camera to whatever the audience was, and in some way I can connect to you because I've been to your city. I've been to your favorite dive bar because I've recommended it to people because I've been there, you know. Of course, and there's a level of being able to relate to people that I felt that I was able to do because I traveled so much, you know. And that was like I put in my 10,000 hours in that sense, as they say.
Well, nothing beats experience.
No.
I mean, you can train all day, but until you get the actual experience, you've never actually used those tools.
Well, a highly padded resume has beat out my experience before, I will say that.
Yeah.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
And it still can happen, but
fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Well, I absolutely did. The amount of times where I like made myself like from a bartender to be like bar lead, bar manager, like, and here's why I can do this sales job because I manage and upsold to customers 24/7. I was like, it doesn't matter. They were already railed out or like smoking weed before they came into the bar. Like, I was still upselling them. That's still sales, right? Right?
Yeah,
right,
absolutely. I'm saying they swiped the card and it went through.
Yeah.
You know what I
It
mean?
didn't get declined.
No.
Sprinkle it.
Just sprinkle a
No.
little bit of fancy words here and there, upsell this and that. And
There's
Use
something
your
to be
SAT
said.
10-cent words.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
I don't even know what
It's
those
like
are.
there's something to be said for
I forgot about
being
now.
thrown into it. Like I can't remember. Well, no, actually, I remember where I was. I was working at this really nice house in a place called Hancock Park in LA. So like old Hollywood, fucking beautiful ass house. And you know, as we know in the industry, sometimes people do a little too much of the rails and a little too much of the fun stuff. And a chef did not show up. And they're like, "Hey Eddie, put that tray of champagne down. And there's the grill. Here are." Swear to God.
Yeah.
Here are these, however many, it was either like Neiman Ranch or Nyman Ranch, sorry, Snake River Farms. Here are these steaks. They cost this much. Do this, and this. Don't fuck it up. That was it.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, man. And I'm like, all right, well, fuck
Put
it.
it on your little paper in and out cap, and you're
I was
you
like,
got
all
it.
right. I was like, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
And he just told me, he goes, trust this, that when it says this temperature, do this, and this, you won't fuck it up. And I'm like, all right, don't overthink it. Do exactly what he said. And it was like, and then that it kind of hit me. I'm like, oh, cool. There's something creative to this. It's you, at least in anything in life, whatever you do, try to find something that you can relate to within if it's a new experience. So this was a new experience for me. So I studied art. I studied music. I'm like, all right, cool. There's a creative aspect to this. There's something
is
that you
an
can
art,
relate to.
yeah.
Absolutely. But you know, I didn't know any better. And I'm like, oh, I get it now. I'm understanding that was where the bug hit. That's where I was like, oof. Now I want to learn. Now I want to go to this restaurant, and I'm broke as fuck, but I want to learn how to make this dish at home for a tenth of what it cost me at the restaurant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was like those,
sure.
you never know what these moments are going to be where I was fucking scared shitless, and little did I know it was going to change the trajectory of the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And moments like that, it's sink or swim.
Yes.
It's sink or swim. You either do it-
Trial by fire is the best way most human beings learn, especially like performance industry people. Like, that's why I also think too, like with the service industry and the performance industry, one could not exist without the other, because the service industry relies so heavily on people being able to make a performance to the guests, to the entire restaurant. Like, you are not enjoying yourself. If everybody working in the service industry was some 18-year-old who just needed to get a job while they were going through law school or business school, restaurants would not exist.
No, there's
Those
no way.
high-end, high-class places would not exist, because they are looking for actors. They are looking for performers. They are looking for seasoned public speakers even that can interact with a guest, because they are making the experience.
Yeah.
So your experience in that restaurant does not exist without that performance aspect. Like, the chefs could be as good as they want, and their food can be Michelin star, but if there's not someone giving them a good time and recommending it, they're not going to be able to get it and experience it, because they're not going to want to, because us as that first line of defense are not opening up them to the experience. So it's great that a lot of us are performance and service industry combined, because I really think there's a big connection between the two.
I think that it helps the service in LA, and it helps the service in places like New York, where
absolutely,
you
New York.
walk into a restaurant, and as somebody who manages a restaurant, maybe it's harder to staff, because somebody books a TV show, they got to go, there's all those little
God forbid
nuances.
a theater production.
God forbid, right? And but as a consumer, as a guest, you come in and you're like, man, there's I think the hardest part of doing the job is being personable. It really is. It's cutting out the shitty traffic. It's cutting out whatever happened to you that day, and just coming in and like and just connecting. So I don't know. Do you feel it's advantageous to live here and experience dining in this? I feel like it is.
In
But
any major metropolitan city, it's always going to be advantageous. But you actually were talking about it on your podcast, where you said, or I think it was your guest, they were talking about the difference between the New York style and the LA style, and how different things are appreciated more. depending on where you are. So yeah, it's always going to be advantageous to be out here in LA, but you also have to pay attention to where those advantages are, like by paying attention to what everyone is drinking, what the flavor of the month is, talking about performance, what kind of performance are your guests looking for, depending on where you are, depending on how long you've been open. All of those factors kick in, but it's up to us, as you say, to give that to the guests, because that's the only reason they're going to come back.
And that's why places in New York like Attaboy has a great service portfolio. They are a no reservation, like no menu, but they rely on the talent of their bartenders, the persona of their bartenders to make their entire brand. And this brand has been around for 10 years so strongly that they did a world tour. So going with that and understanding that it really is the service and the performance that kind of goes through with a lot of those things.
My top 10 bars in the world that I've been to is Attaboy in Nashville. And I've been to the Attaboy in New York.
Attaboy in Nashville is nice.
The Attaboy in like sometimes you're like, all right, satellite location, new thing, you know, like Death and Company here. I like it.
But it's not the same.
Not the same
That's
as
what
one in New
I
York.
always hear.
But the Attaboy here, I'm sorry, the Attaboy in Nashville, you gotta give it to them. They they figured out that Southern charm, but bringing the New York Attaboy to it. So there's something to be said to that.
And that's the big thing too. Like I wanted to get into as well, like that difference that we're talking about from New York to LA. Like employees only in New York, probably one of the top 10 bars in all of New York City. Out here, not as popular because they're trying to put a New York focus in Los Angeles. And as much as people love the New York fad, when they get into a New York drive, when they see it, they don't like it. And that's why employees only hasn't been doing as well as they have in New York, even though they have the same style. I love employees only, but that's because, well, I grew up there, so I love employees only. But it is one of the few bars that like held true to its full New York extent. And that's kind of what's killing them in LA, because you got to know what the LA drive is. LA wants bougie. LA wants superficial. They want everything to look pretty. And if the food is delicious, that's a plus.
Yeah.
So I agree, but I also agree that sometimes is specific to a neighborhood. So I think West Hollywood, yes. In Highland Park, a New York style employees only would work just as well as it did in New York.
That's why Blind Barber works so well over there.
Yeah, different, like a totally kind of a different vibe based on these pockets of neighborhoods. That is one thing that I find fascinating about this city. Are the pockets of neighborhoods and just how distinct they are. Where you know, if you live in Manhattan or you live in Brooklyn, like you'll go to Chinatown, you'll go to Harlem, you'll go to Midtown, you'll go whatever. Here, no, people are like, no, fuck it. I stay in K-Town and I just go to the 3 places I go to in K-Town or whatever. You know.
Like I'm in Culver, I'm gonna just go to that Culver Square, and that's all I'm gonna do.
Oh shit! If you're in Glendo, you don't leave Glendo.
No, you don't, bro.
Especially you got that little strip in Glendo.
Yeah, once in a while you head up to Pasadena if you really want to drop money, but that's about it.
Welcome to my neighborhood. Like shout out to the 35er. Well, not even the 30, because I don't like the 35er. I love 10 Quarter and I love Don's Grotto. You know, to my homies that work there.
Freddie is great. I love Freddie.
Freddie's incredible. Dave Swan's incredible. Edder's incredible. Riley, all the folks that work in that like little conglomerate of space. Fuck yeah! Like I gotta give props where it's due. It's great that I can walk from my house to a place that excels in that experience. I don't have to, I don't have to drive anywhere. It's great.
It's always nice because that's the thing too with like New York and LA. Like New York, you could go out, like even with my job, you could go out, have your party, have your fun, go glorified bar hopping to get paid. And then you just take the subway home. In LA, you've got to be so smart about it because you can't take public transportation home in LA.
Nah, you can't take the bus.
I take it all the time. I take the Gold Line all the fucking time.
The Gold Line is a little bit better, but if you're waiting for the Red Line, the Expo Line, the Purple Line, like, I mean, it lit on fire 3 times in one day for me.
Oh, shit.
That's what's up.
That'll do it.
Fuck the Red Line.
I always say fuck the Red Line until I have to go to something at the Hollywood Bowl, and I'm like, oh fuck, I love that Red Line. I don't have to deal with it.
Get off the Hollywood Highland, and then just take something right up there, man. You're all good to go.
Yeah.
But like with that, like you have to drive to the pockets in LA. You could take the F train, and you could be in 6 different pockets in New York. and then you're
Correct.
good to go.
Yep.
But with LA, like that's what really makes enjoying different places
Getting around
and, also,
and being able to experience
yes,
things is
and
the
like
public
having a
transport.
job like mine where you're kind of required to drink and like have a good time with people makes it tough because you don't want to get a DUI for your job because A, you lose your fucking job,
Right.
and B, DUIs are like 10 to 20 grand now,
Yeah.
and it's insane.
And depending on what country you try to travel to, you might not get in.
You can't go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
They don't
there
wear
are a
records.
few that I can't get in.
Yeah. Yeah, if you got a DUI, you can't go to Canada, New Zealand.
Yeah, New Zealand ain't having
Sweden,
any of that
nope.
shit.
Yeah. If
Oh,
you got a DUI, you're
shit.
banned. I
Yeah.
think for like up to, I think minimum like 5-6 years.
You just named like 3 countries where people are fucking drunks.
Yeah.
That's like the funniest thing in the world. To
Exactly.
Me. They're like,
Also
keep
only
the other
ride
drunks out.
bicycles anywhere.
We want only our drunks.
Yeah, only theirs. Only theirs.
But those countries have better public transport and other modes of transportation.
Yeah.
That doesn't. I don't
They
think
have
they're.
like bike racks everywhere. Like biking is a big thing. You can ride a bike drunk, but it's like there's like 3 cars on the road. So who's
Yeah,
gonna
their
fucking
motor
hit you?
vehicle accidents are way lower than ours.
Because they don't have a lot of motor vehicles. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. There's a lot of fucking mountains and shit.
Which ironic, the Autobahn in Germany has the lowest amount of accidents in the entire world. Like, yeah.
Is that the one where you can go however fast you want?
Yeah, where the minimum speed limit is 70 miles per hour or like 80 miles per hour or some shit like that.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
wait, did you say minimum?
Yeah.
Minimum.
Well, it's however many kilometers that is, but yeah.
That's like what, 140 kilometers or some
I
shit
have
like
no
that?
idea, dude.
But yeah, the minimum is
We're
super
American.
fast.
We don't fucking know.
I'm like,
Because the Autobahn is so expansive, like it was made for fast cars, but because it's fast, there is also this respect for it, and people who get on it know how to drive. So it literally has the least accident rates in the
smart.
entire world. America, you drive in LA for 5 minutes, and we've already beat the Autobahn.
Let's not drive in my hometown of Miami, Florida. Let's learn how
I
to
know.
drive.
They're all rolling with those 50s Chevy Corsairs, and they're just knocking into people left and right.
Oh, they don't care.
Oh, they
yeah,
don't
it's
care
a
at
different
all.
animal.
I was so glad I was in a taxi and not driving my own car there, because I'm like, damn, I would fucking die if I was driving.
Oh, it's
here.
yeah. It's
They're just munching on their Milaneses as they're driving around.
there's
I wanted to ask you, with how well traveled you are and all the places you've been to and experienced, why did you land on Havana Club being one that you wanted to represent and talk about, and what about it drew into you? And
the good question. So as I mentioned when we started, my parents are Cuban exiles, and a little known thing about how, not even a little known thing. People will get confused and they see Havana Club and they see Puerto Rican rum, but this is rum made in exile, because it's not made in Puerto Rico out of choice. It's made out of circumstance. The people that own this brand, quick history lesson. Cuban Revolution happens. It was happening for a while, but the main impact of the Cuban Revolution was December 31st, 1959. Fulgencio Batista, who was a dictator in Cuba, flees the country on New Year's Eve. The Castros take power. A totalitarian dictatorship comes in, and on January 1st, 1960, the people who owned this brand had guerrillas come in at gunpoint and nationalize your company. What does that mean? People run into our studio, or your studio, excuse me, not my studio, our experience right now with guns, and say, this no longer belongs to you, it belongs to us. Yeah. And that's what happened.
Belongs to the government of Cuba.
It belongs to the government. It belongs to the quote unquote people. Sorry, you're right-handed. Here we go. But that is what happened to this brand. Fast forward in 1989, so this brand somewhat stays dormant. Let's say it's not dormant in Cuba, because what happens is they have a stockpile of liquid that's aging. The founding members, or the grandson of the founder, who's the only one who's alive at the time, Jose Rechavala, whose name is on this bottle, he, through series of events, is forced to leave he wasn't getting paid. He was still overseeing his family's company, because it's his family's legacy. It's his family's company. He's forced to leave. It's like get in prison, die, or leave. Oh, well, we're leaving, and guess what? The only person that has the recipe is me in my head, and I'm taking that with me.
So they can take all they want, because I still got it.
Yeah. But what happens is the Berlin Wall comes down. 1989, and Cuba is no longer getting the same amount of influx from Soviet money that they did before. Where, the Cuban government is some of the richest people in the world, but the people, not so much. Nope. So what do is they put out feelers to see if somebody wants to work with them in a liquor brand, being Havana Club. Pernod Ricard says yes. They sign a 50-50 deal, and they distribute a rum called Havana Club globally. Not the same recipe, stolen brand. Take the family name off of it, take the family crest off the bottle, and that's what they did. So the Havana Club you see, and I've drank it before I knew this story. That's the rum that you see distributed in Mexico, Canada, anywhere except here because of the Cuban embargo. Anyway, so imagine you are this gentleman, Jose Rechavala, your family's legacy. You are in Miami, and you, because of what happens in your life, you have to become a mechanic. Your wife, these were folks that employed thousands of people in Cuba. They were like, they were considered aristocratic, but they weren't considered bad people. They were just they were like good people in their community. All of a sudden, he sees his family's brand with his name not on it being distributed around the world. What would that do for you?
Fury.
Yeah.
Rage.
Especially while you're working on cars.
Yeah. But because it just and that happened to so many people. So many people came from Cuba, like my parents, 1962, 1963. They had to start fresh. Now, some people, they worked in sugarcane. They understood that industry. They came to Florida. They planted sugarcane. They were able to develop those industries. Everything worked out different. Like the Bacardis. Bacardi's not from Puerto Rico. Bacardi's from Cuba. Yeah. Facundo Bacardi was born in Cuba. That is, I don't know if he was born in Cuba actually or born in Spain, but Bacardi was founded in Cuba. And they were... they were forced to leave.
Facundo is a very Spaniard name.
It is a very Spaniard name, but there's a lot of Cubans named Facundo. Direct. Anyway, so fast forward.
My punch card right there.
Imagine if this brand launches in 1934 originally, and it was the biggest competitor to Bacardi in Cuba. The biggest. Wow. So fast forward to the 90s when this deal happens with Pernod Ricard. Fast forward to when I can't imagine Jose Rechavala, the grandson who was still alive at the time, reaches out to the Bacardis, it's like if Honda reaches out to Toyota and they're like, hey, we want you to make the Accord. It was the biggest competitor to the Camry, but you know what? We need to keep the legacy alive because somebody somewhere else is making their Accord, but it ain't the same Accord. Wow. And it's stolen.
That's a good comparison.
Oh, yeah. Right? Because it's like Pepsi and Coke. It's like there were that level of competition in Cuba as far as rum.
The DeLorean was a completely stolen idea. Yeah.
So anyway, thankfully, the Bacardis were like, you know what? They were going to sign a handshake deal, and we are going to remake your original recipe of Havana Club, and we're going to release it again. And unfortunately, Jose Rechavala died in 2010. This brand did not relaunch until 2016. But his wife, the matriarch of the family, Amparo, is still alive, and I was blessed enough to meet her. So you asked me why I chose this brand, because it connects to me so much. I think of my mother and my father. Every time I look at this bottle, this ain't like some bullshit. My mother died in 2006. She'll never get to set foot in her motherland. My father has Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease. He'll never get to set foot again in his motherland. I feel like I'm doing an honor to them by representing this brand every time I do it. So that is how I'm passionate about it. I got introduced into the brand by my dear friend who's the national ambassador, my friend Gio. He is the one who encouraged me to explore the possibility of working for this brand, because I don't work at a restaurant now. I don't work at a bar. I am somebody who works in the food space, but sharing content and sharing people's stories. But I felt like I was the right person to do this job out here, because I've lived here long enough. I know the people here long enough, and I'm compelled to tell the story. If you asked, listen to the fucking story you got. I'm sorry that I took over your show for 10 minutes.
No.
But like that,
we literally got 2 hours.
I get into it because, like, this is my blood. Yeah, this is what goes through my veins, and it irks me when a story is misrepresented or misunderstood. So I love that. Thank you for like asking and giving me the opportunity to share. Like, this isn't conjecture. That's just the truth. That's the way this shit went down. You can interpret it a different way, but there's no fucking way to interpret this. You know, math is math. It's just like that. That's what happened. Yeah. So anyway, thanks.
Yeah, of course, man. That's
thank you.
I remember, and I asked because when you gave me a smaller summarization of it at the bar, I was like, okay, I like the way it tastes, and I was like, okay, I like this, you know. Yeah. Cool. And then you gave me that story. I'm like, I like it a lot more now because of the story you gave me. So
this was my rum at my house before I ever started this job. Like my two rums at my house. I'm Cuban, man. I drink rum. So was the Blanco and then the one that we have here. Yeah, you know, these were like my two rums before this like ever came up, and me not knowing. Me not knowing the full depth of the story, scratching the surface, but not knowing what I know now.
It makes it taste better.
It makes it taste better, and it makes me even more like proud.
Well, damn, this is gonna be the only rum in my bar now. Like,
no, but there's great rum in the world. It's not about that, but like this is like something that I'm grateful that it's good, because if it wasn't good, then I wouldn't be able to do it. To be completely honest with you, I wouldn't be able to do it. Yeah, the conversation would have never been started if I didn't actually love what I'm drinking. So, yeah.
And it is for those out there. It is a really good rum. So I suggest go checking it out.
Thank you.
Available almost everywhere, right?
Everywhere in the U.S., man. Yeah. Everywhere in the U.S. It's double aged, so you know it's like really good bang for buck.
Most retailers like Total Wine and stuff like that.
Yeah. Total Wine.
Yeah, I've seen it in Total Wine. Yeah, they got the 175s in Total Wine, don't they?
I've never seen a 175 of this. No. These are only the 750s, and then now, so the one we have here is 80 proof. We have a double aged Blanco that is filtered.
That one's good.
That's also 80 proof. Good. But the original Havana Club that came out in 1934 was 86 proof. And we have that now. You have it at High Tide.
Oh, that's the one.
That's the one. Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
So that one just got released last year. One just got released that year, and that's like I always tell people literally it's like tasting a little bit of history, because that's what it would have tasted like 1934 when it came out. Anyway, sorry for the fucking spiel.
Thank you for
like honestly, I would not have brought it up had you not asked. I'm not that person.
I was waiting to ask.
He didn't. I was teeing it up in my head.
I had it in the
chamber.
chamber.
Then you said it, and I was like, all right,
I was waiting for them to stop their exchange.
I'm glad that's what you had in the chamber as opposed to something else. Like, you know. Wait.
I'll give you that one.
I saw the eye contact. I knew where it was going.
Drink Havana Club, guys.
Yeah. Cheers. This is the one rum that doesn't make me feel like an asshole when I drink it. So. Wait, what? Let me give some context.
Yeah,
please. Yeah. So everybody in the world like has their one liquor that makes them an asshole. Like for most people, they say it's whiskey.
Oh, for me, it's water.
For me, it's being sober. But like whenever I would drink rum, it would turn me into the biggest asshole ever. But as soon as I took that drink of that, I kind of felt like the beaches and the breeze and like, all right, this is a lot better. Like I enjoy this. You went from
bitch to beach.
Yeah. It's a style of rum.
No, I went from
bitchy to beachy.
Straight
I'm gonna
up,
keep
like,
going.
We can't put the explicit because the things I want to say are beyond the explicit. It took me from that, see you next Tuesday, to
from cunt to coconut.
Yay! All right, let's hope Spotify lets us have that one.
They will. Shit. We've gotten away with a lot
worse. If the Australians can do it.
We've gotten away with a lot worse.
Do it all the time. We can do it.
Like, did they give you shit for saying cunt?
No,
really?
I don't think so.
I'm like, go anywhere in Great Britain, going like it's not a.
Oh, it's their favorite word.
Yeah.
Which is
I'm like
so
shit
bizarre to me because it still kind of like hits the ear wrong. Nails to a chalkboard.
Because we've been trained as Americans that like cunt is a bad word.
Australians just throwing it left and right.
All right, it's their favorite thing.
Yeah, I'm like,
slow down, you dickhead.
Such a great. I haven't met an Australian I didn't like. Like I haven't had one. Oh, you did?
One. And he was a very pretentious Australian.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'll do it. All right.
Yeah. He was
He's
like
the one.
He was like a Parisian. And yeah.
I met
Have you
one.
ever met a Parisian, Nando?
No, I haven't.
Good. I hope you don't.
Okay.
I met one, and it wasn't that like how he was that I didn't like. It was just how disgustingly rich he was.
Oh,
that
fair.
I didn't like.
That's on you, not on him.
Yeah, no, of course. I'm just being a hater.
Yeah, I was about to say. I'm just like, he didn't do anything.
That's
but
on your own
be
negative
successful.
$27
Shit.
bank account, not his.
Of course, absolutely. Being 100% a hater. I'll own that shit. Yeah. Fuck yeah. I don't mind. Whatever. I don't care. Fuck. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was looking at that. Sorry. Well, because I saw your thing that you're a chef, and I wanted to ask you, when you were working in the kitchen, right? You've had a lot of experience in the kitchen.
Never at a restaurant. Only in catering, and only and I used to cringe. Like as much as I cringe when I hear the word influencer, because that fucking grosses me out. It grosses me out in the terms of the way people interpret it now. Yeah. But you know, like.
It's like when I hear mixologist, I'm like,
exactly.
Like
but you know, there is
an influence. It makes me more money,
yeah.
but I don't want to say that word.
Cocktail alchemist.
No,
that's my most hated one.
Jesus.
That's my most hated one.
I used to, and I've worked with very successful chefs, right? And they'll call me chef. And it makes me feel uncomfortable because I'm like, I didn't study what you did. I didn't work here. I didn't do this. And then I was in Nashville when I went to Attaboy. I was in Nashville because I was fortunate enough to get a role in a food talk show TV pilot on NBC. And one of my co-hosts was this dude, Richard Blaze, who's on like Next Level Chef. He's out of San Diego. Blaze is the fucking coolest cat in the world. And I'm with him on set, and he starts calling me chef, and I'm like Blaze, dude, you know, I don't feel comfortable. And he goes, dude, chef just means chief in French. You're a fucking chef. Fuck off. And I was like, I get that.
That's great.
Yeah. And I was like, honestly, yeah, you're right. You're right. We've given more credence to, and not that I respect chefs. It's not about that, but it's a word. Yeah. It's a word, and he's like, own it.
He also respected you enough to like give you an end to it. Like he's calling you that, and also being like, you can feel okay with it because it's just this word. Like, sure, he probably has the respect in his mind, and he respects that you understand the ideal of it. But you're so good to him, and he respects you so much. He's just giving you that end.
It changed my perspective. And then he ate my croquetas. I made you know, jamón ibérico and manchego croquetas, and that fool ate them, and he was like, "Oh shit, this is delicious." I'm like, "Yeah." But I'm also like, he worked at El Bulli, he worked at French Laundry, he's worked at like some of the most legendary restaurants in the world. You know, I
still can't get into French Laundry.
Oof, I'm dying to go to French Laundry.
Have you ever watched The Bear?
I've resisted, so I haven't watched it.
Oh, why have you resisted?
I feel like it's gonna trigger me.
Yeah, it's very triggering.
I have a feeling like it's gonna do some of that to me.
One episode in particular, it will. Hold on. There's one episode in particular, but
is it the one where he drinks the water out of the deli cup when they have the breakout back? Because that triggered me. It's like a motherfucker.
It's episode 7, which is a one shot.
Season 1,
okay. Episode 7. I think it's episode 7. So one shot. It's 20 minutes, just one singular take.
Got it.
With the ticket machine.
It's with the ticket machine. But that show, and the people that I talk to that work in the service industry that watched it, a lot of them say like, this is a great show. It's like the little things they do, like drinking out of a deli cup, or you know, going in the walk-in to like fucking shit like that, or just like little things here and there. So I would say watch it. Season 2 was really good because it had great character development. But check it out. Please do. Let me know what you think about it.
Okay.
Because I really do like the show. The actors are good. And it takes place.
I love Shameless. You're from Chicago. I love Shameless, and I love that actor. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. So
you know,
my
God
very
damn, I
biased
hated Debbie's character. Ugh.
My very biased opinion.
Debbie.
I think it's a great show.
Okay.
Not just because it takes place.
Oh, it's a fantastic show. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we have a little bit of bias because we lived in that industry. We lived in those bottom layers. Like, we knew when Chef was yelling at us to take food out because he's been calling service as like 6 tickets keep popping up out of the machine and the servers aren't doing their job. So we got to run it all out as we're also trying to like refill limes or like make our cocktails. And we just keep hearing that in our heads and like freaking the fuck out.
I have a question as somebody who has not been in that, you know, in that back area, let's say. My fear sometimes with shows like this is that it's so niche as far as only service industry people are going to appreciate it and get it. I'm always like, all right, how does it appeal to the masses? Because that's what's going to keep a show for a third season. Because guess what? So is it something where is it a voyeurism kind of show where if I don't know anything about the restaurant industry, I assume that every chef is this and every sorry for the but I'm like, this is coming from somebody who's never seen an episode. So
they do a good insight into also how you feel as a customer. As you feel as an investor, like. Sure, it focuses on the restaurateur piece of the industry, but it also focuses on how they have to adjust to the customer. Like, they've got an old beef spot that's catering to all of the mom and pop areas that are coming there to get their, like, chopped cheese or whatever the fuck it is. So you get to see from the customer.
It's called a beef. Get it right.
Sorry, I went to New York on that one. Sorry.
Yeah, not a chopped cheese. It's called a beef. Sorry, guys. My people back home. I got you.
I feel so attacked.
773. All right.
312.
Shit. 312. I only know 773.
But it gives you that perspective from the consumers as well, too, because they have to adjust to what the consumers and the regulars. They have regular customers on that are some of their characters, and they also, the way the restaurant works, they're also regulars of Chicago. So you see how they interact and how they grow up with the industry and how they're not liking the change. So they discuss what the regularity, I'm trying to think of the word, like standard, the like regular thoroughfare of the neighborhood is.
Cool.
So you do get to actually experience it as a consumer and as a viewer instead of that niche, like, we're all in the restaurant industry, so we know. There are so many points for all of us with that like when I was watching it with my wife, I was sitting back there and she was like, I don't get why you're leaning back in your chair so scared right now. And I'm like, of course you wouldn't understand, but that ticket machine is making me want to go punch a fucking wall. Like,
we've had nightmares. We've all had nightmares of it.
You should make that your text notification. Ticket machine sound.
No, your alarm. Your alarm.
Oh shit, you'll wake right.
I want to piggyback off what you were saying, and my reason for always telling people to check it out and watch it because how you explain that it does a good job of like showing, people that are not in the industry how it is, and then the people that are in it get it, like the subtle things. I see that show and I see like what we're doing with this one, where it's like, yes, it's the little things here and there that we speak on that the people in industry get it, but it's the people that are outside of the industry. We're not trying to educate you. We're just letting you know this is how it is. We're informing. We're not educating. We're not here to educate people. We're not here to tell you how to bartend, how to cook, how to do this and that. We're just showing you and telling you and talking about stories. So when we're saying the surface level stuff, that's what the general audience gets. But below that, people in the industry will see what we're also talking about, the little things. They'll get like the little notes here and there. And that's why I like the show so much, because I feel like maybe not that we're a parallel, but it's like what they're doing on TV is what we're doing here. So that's why I like it so
pulling
much.
the curtain back a little bit.
Basically, to the industry perspective.
Yeah. They are giving their own, I'll give you that one. They're giving their own industry perspective in an entertaining. We're entertaining too, but like in a way that's like it appeals to the masses, and eventually we will too. So
that shows how their experiences form our experiences. And the Bear does a great job of doing that.
Because like there's things like people don't understand, like the thing about the deli cup, or in season 2, like he cuts the tape that's hanging off. And people don't understand, and makes it like flushed with the thing. Like people not in the industry won't get that, or people in the industry will get that. People outside be
instead
like,
of that parallelogram, sloppy rip stuff. I used to have to cut mine square too.
And that's something like if you have ever worked in the kitchen or worked with a chef that's like that, they are on your ass about it. And the reason being is whatever the reason is. Usually it's like I forget what the reason is. I worked at a restaurant that was like that. I didn't drink the Kool-Aid, so I don't fucking care, but I get it.
Yeah.
So.
Like the day when he taught them all about first in, first out. I'm like, oh boy, I remember that training day.
FIFO, man. FIFO, first in, first out. Yeah. That's one thing I'm trying to tell one of my coworkers about, but they don't get it.
I always ask people like, what was the favorite thing where you worked? Because I worked in restaurants back in Miami in Coconut Grove. Actually, it was what was the thing that when somebody I'll give you an example, and then you could, like, if I would see people on a date and they were fighting. And then I would see the girl order a bunch of food, and I knew she wasn't gonna eat it, and I knew she wasn't gonna take it. I knew I was gonna fucking eat it, right? So like,
then you fucking eat
the fucking Parmesan shrimp. Like I worked at an Italian restaurant, and I was like, oh my god, please. And I would just sit there in the back. I would be like bussing, and I'd sit there in the back, and I'm like, please. Oh wait, no, she's not spitting. She's talking. She's waving her hands. She's not spitting. Okay, no, the Parmesan shrimp looks clean. And I'm gonna go check and see. Oh, they don't want it anymore. I'm going in the back. I'm like, and I'm housing it.
That one little hallway where you know the cameras can't see you, so you just take a couple bites and then fucking dump it off.
Oh, it's the greatest.
I had it underneath my bar I was working at.
I didn't give a shit. I just ate it.
Well, back then they didn't have cameras everywhere.
Yeah, they didn't have. Yeah, they didn't have cameras back then, dude. Please. Yeah. But anyway, is there something that you would see wherever you worked that you're like, oh fuck, I'm gonna house that shit as soon as somebody does not?
I haven't worked at a place that had food that I cared about that much.
There was
I'm a bow out.
One of my first jobs here. There was a French fusion restaurant. We had a duck and
You're talking my language.
It was what the fuck is the shit called? The
good confit.
Not the fancy word for grits.
Polenta.
Thank you.
The fancy word for grits.
Italian grits.
Yeah, the fancy word for grits.
The problem is that you pointed at the black guy from
because
the south.
You and Rob corrected me.
Right, but I'm from the south, so to me, grits is grits. I ate grits. But so it took me a minute to be like,
because you and Rob correct me. I wasn't pointing. Grits, you know what? Cheese. I'm not digging the hole any deeper. Whatever. It was like a grilled duck and polenta. So I knew when we had these bigger parties and the shit came out in like just trays and cups or bowls or whatever, that I would help because I was working at a bar back that time. I would help like bus it or whatever, and then just fucking take some slices of that.
Oh hell yes!
And
24/7.
Yeah. The best.
And the last place that we worked at together, they had this like tomato dumpling shit. So whenever they had parties, that was like usually one of the main appetizers. They wouldn't always eat it, so bring it back.
Boom.
You just
I remember that.
Couple spoonfuls of it. Oh my god,
those are the best. Those are the eating standing in a corner when you're like being a degenerate and hoping nobody sees you is kind of the best meal you've ever had. It really is.
Trying to eat it as fast as you can.
I would literally take one like if Chef didn't make me something because he left, and I like saw someone who didn't like it or something else, I would just shove it under my well. And like every once in a while when I didn't have a customer, I'd like crouch down, duck, yep, exactly like that, and just go because we had some like bomb ass food both at the Wellsborn and at Eat It On Brand. Like Eat It On Brand, we had a Michelin star chef. So like, of course, when people didn't eat their food or didn't like it, I wasn't gonna let that go in the trash. I was gonna hide that in my bar. I'm like, no, I'm not letting that ribeye go to waste. That's my ribeye now.
Fuck no.
Oh, when people wouldn't touch their tomahawk steak. Oh, that shit would not last. If I saw it go to the bag untouched,
that shit in my mouth.
Fucking, I'd beeline. I don't care how busy you were. I needed a piece. Beeline straight to the fucking back. Beeline. I needed just a piece.
You're serving a customer and you're like stirring something. You just pull the tomahawk bone.
Fucking run. Drop the tin and everything. Fucking refilling all the garnishes. Oh shit, is that the tomahawk? All right. Fucking drop everything and just leave.
I want to find out who decided. Like, you know what? We're gonna bring a steak that we've always had. We're gonna fucking call it a tomahawk now, because dude, I worked in the '90s and nobody had a fucking tomahawk steak. They had a bone-in, whatever the hell. It was never called. But I'm like, you know what? Somebody was like, yeah, see, we're gonna call this a tomahawk. See, and it was just like,
we're gonna let the bone in purchase.
Yeah, it was like brilliant marketing. I was like, nobody gave a shit about. They're like, oh, bone. All right, well, shit, we had a bone-in ribeye. Okay, cool.
Well, the way it works is that whenever we need to make something sound fancy, we just take it from a different culture and we name it that, and white people will buy it. Like, I've never heard of this name, or this reminds me of this one. Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and pay extra for it.
On that note, I have a fun one for me. You may know this, but you may not. So I'm gonna. Do you know what Patagonian toothfish is?
No.
Oh, good God! What is this?
It's a little thing called Chilean sea bass. It is Patagonia. I think it's Patagonian toothfish. It was the fucking worst name ever, but you see Chilean sea bass on that menu, and I love Chilean sea bass.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. But somebody in marketing was like, see, we're gonna call this, and it was like, and it
smart.
Fucking, it was amazing.
Smart.
I love how it's all a 40s gangster from
It
Brooklyn.
is,
See?
We're gonna call this tilapia. We're gonna call it freshwater fake Costco shit sea bass. People will drink it. Yeah.
Fancy ass French name, and then everybody's gonna want it.
Patagonia just sounds like Pacific Northwest bullshit. Sounds like you're supposed to be wearing.
But it's from South America.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what's up there is like Patagonia or North Face and all this other shit.
Oh, it's the attire.
It just sounds like some shit that someone up there was like, you know what? What do we name it?
Pacific Toothfish at REI.
Oh my god! Exactly. Oh my gosh!
You weren't here for this question. I want to ask you to.
Before you ask that, how much time do you have left? Because I know you got to get out of here.
No, I'm still good. Yeah, I'm still good. At least another 20, 30. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
And then Kia can switch in at that point.
So one thing. We love Kia.
So for everyone out there, you're gonna get some Kia here pretty soon.
It's about to be a special podcast.
Hold on, let me. Oh wait, were you finishing a thought?
I actually interrupted his story.
I was gonna ask him a question about.
I interrupted his story to say that.
Yeah,
turns.
My turn.
He was next in line.
I was next in line. Do you guys prefer?
I'm feeling it's not the first time this has happened.
Yo, when you get some time, my man, when you get some time, can I be next?
Kia's gonna throw a glass of wine at you. That's out.
Yeah, that's a callback.
So I wanted to ask.
Sorry, we don't have any servers to take care of your table.
Man, there was a please wait to be seated sign.
You walked right past it. Do you prefer to have great service or great food? If you had to pick one or the other, you go to a place and it's like, well, service kind of sucked, but damn, that food, ooh shit.
I will take service before food.
Okay.
I want an experience because I can fucking cook great at home.
Okay.
So you know, my reason to go to a restaurant is two things: service and to do something I'm too fucking lazy to do.
Yep.
That's, you know, or something that, I mean, I don't think I cook better than XYZ, so I'm gonna go to you because you make this thing that I really want to not have to do at home. Mm-hmm. I don't want my house to smell. I don't want to fucking fry a bunch of plátanos. Like if I'm gonna, like, I just want to go. I don't want
to take 3-4 hours to make what you could make in 30 minutes because you've already prepped.
Yeah. So, but yes,
you're prepped for it. You're set up for it.
Yeah. For me, service is everything. I went to a great restaurant in my neck of the woods called Agnes in Pasadena on Green Street. Fucking great restaurant. But I went on Saturday night and I had a food friend of mine from South Florida who was in town, and I was like, I'm gonna take her here. She's a foodie. She's somebody who's eaten at some of the best restaurants in the world. She'll really love it. Food was great. The service was so fucking off, and the service wasn't bad. Just the timing of everything, like pork chop. We're like halfway through the pork chop, all of a sudden potatoes au gratin show up. I'm like, yo. This needed to be here. This needed to be here with the pork. You know what? Like little things like that, and I'm like, I dropped $300 here. Yeah. It wasn't. You know, this isn't chump change.
Shit service at like Mother Wolf or something. Like,
yeah,
I'm going there and I'm already spending $200 on a bottle of wine that I could get for $50. Like, where's the sommelier with an accent telling me this is good?
Service is the biggest thing for me because I go to have an experience. Okay. And if yes, the flavors and the culinary aspect is there, but service makes food taste better, and bad service makes great food taste worse.
Yes.
So I will always go with service.
Okay.
Yeah.
Always, yeah.
Same thing for drinks.
Same thing.
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay. And I kind of had a feeling that you felt that way because of what you both talked about earlier when it came to service. You both emphasized that service was important, you know, especially when you said the performance aspect that we are all expected to give. That was why I answered it the way I did last week. But I do completely agree that the food is important. But, you know, just as Eddie said, it's like, well, if I get great food, but I don't feel welcome here, then I'll never get that food again, or I'll get it to go.
Like if I'm paying $20 for a cocktail I know I can make at home 6 times better.
Right.
Like I want it to at least be served with a smile and a fun attitude.
Right.
Because that's going to make it a little bit worth it. Because I could go home. I have all the ingredients already. I know I could make this already better. But like I am here to have an experience and like take my wife to an experience because we're having our date night. We don't get a lot of them. So like we are coming out once during this week to have this great experience at a place that has been renowned. If this place is not renowned as it said it is, it's not like we're going to that place where like you pay for them to be a dick. Like we're not going there.
Ed DeBevick's.
Yeah. Dick's Last Resort.
Yeah,
I fucking love
Wiener Circle.
They fucking.
Yeah.
You know,
They're all in Chicago. What
They
is this?
closed
I'm
at
just kidding.
Bevick's.
Oh, they did.
And they were supposed to open
Not
it
Wiener
up.
Circle.
Not Wiener Circle? I never been. Did you
Fuck,
go to
Wiener Circle is the funniest shit
Dick's
ever.
Last
It's in
Resort?
Chicago. No, Wiener Circle's in Chicago.
Have you
And
been to Dick's?
You talking about a
No.
circle jerk?
Kinda.
Wiener
Except,
Dicks.
yeah. Except they're just gonna yell at you and insult you the entire fucking time you order. It's kind of amazing.
At Dick's Last Resort, they give you a little hat and they write something on there and they make you wear it. So
I would
it'll
love
say
that shit,
some
yeah.
shit on there about
It's
you.
part
your
of the
parents.
experience.
It's part of the
Yeah.
experience.
There's a traveling version of that it's just a pop-up. It's supposed to be out here in like 2 weeks. I sent you guys an invite a couple weeks back and no one like
I didn't see
really
that shit.
acknowledged it, but I was like, yo, we should all go as
Can you
a
resend
group.
that invite?
Yeah, I'll go back and look for it.
Make
But,
it a calendar invite.
Yeah,
Can you do
it was-
that?
and it was one of those things where we
I
could
have
go.
to do that.
Yeah, he does. Do it. I gotta check
That's why
my
I
email.
emailed him like, bro, send me a calendar invite. He's like, oh, do you want to do the show this time? I'm like, dude, send me a calendar invite.
Yeah.
If I don't have a calendar invite, this shit is
ain't
not
gonna make it.
happening.
And
He's
it's
like,
like, bing, here we go.
I love those motherfuckers now because I hardly know what day it is, let alone what I'm supposed to be doing on
I
that
thought
day.
today was Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
feels like a
I mean,
Friday.
it's
does feel
Thanksgiving
like-
week.
Yeah, I
It
know that.
basically
Yeah.
is Friday.
I'm literally going to Carmel at 9 in the morning tomorrow, so it is my Friday.
Yeah.
fucking, I love Carmel.
I love Carmel so much. I love
Go
escargot.
to Bicyclette.
Bicyclette. I love Bicyclette. We always have our Thanksgiving dinner at Mission Ranch, which is Clint
stuff.
Eastwood Ranch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if we don't get in for the dinner, we just stay there because their jazz pianist for the night is so fantastic, and they make their cocktails very well. And also, it's like a very classic, like homey ranch style service. Like they're always nice. Like they always try, even if the service is a little slow. Whenever they get it to you, it's very nice. It's very warm. It's very rustic. So I'm very excited to have that.
That's awesome.
I think Carmel is one of those places where people who think they have money go and realize they don't have money.
No shit. That's why I'm going there.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. No, it's kind of amazing. But Carmel Bakery, the chocolate cornet
Oh
is
my
out of fucking control. It's like half chocolate, half like
That's
a
one
cornet.
next to the pizza shop, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
That sounds so
Their
expensive.
pizza's really good too.
Yeah.
Their
Carmel's
flatbreads
so
are
good,
so
bro.
nice.
It's what you know those words that you hear and you're like, that shit sounds expensive. What did you call it?
It's like a
chocolate-
little like a
what?
cornet, like a little almond
I don't even
horn,
know what the
like
fuck that
it's
is.
like they call it. It's like a I don't know, fucking like an almond cookie croissant thing. That's like a
can't imagine.
like a half
I
moon,
literally-
and then they
I'm
dunk
too
half of it
poor.
in chocolate, and the other stuff is exposed. Just
way.
bread. That shit is it's so fucking good.
Yeah, I'm too
Yeah.
poor
It's
to
like
make
a
a
lobster
vision of
tail,
that.
but fancy.
Still out of my tax bracket.
Yeah.
It's like a
bakery
croissant lobster tail.
Lobster tail. Yeah.
Croissant
Like
lobster
you know the bakery
tail.
lobster tails where you get
No.
them. And it's, oh
No.
Well, bakery lobster tails. It's like a cone that's just a beautiful puff pastry drizzled with
Yeah.
some kind of chocolate,
Yeah.
and the filling is just to die for. If you want to have like an okay one, you can go to Carlos Bakery in Santa Monica, but it's like
Well,
okay.
I guess we can afford to go there.
We can afford
'Cause
okay.
You said puff and drizzle in the same sentence. That's too expensive for me. I can't have both. I can pay for one.
I can never have the puff. Or the drizzle. I can't have the puff drizzle with a French word in the name.
If I get the puff and the drizzle, you ain't getting no tip. So, and I can't be that guy.
Yeah, well, the tip will be
verbal.
verbal.
Smile.
Nah, I can't be that person. So I'll go to the cheaper one. I gotta work my way up.
I guess I will tip you on my
Levels to this shit.
$16 cornet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
real.
really.
No, it's not that bad. But
No,
it's
not
it's
that
like
bad.
it's one of
still
those where
like,
like I've been up
$8.50.
there for work before, and I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta roll through this place before I get in the car and drive my ass back.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's just good. Yeah, it's just good, and you know. Anyway, it's so good that I fucking remember that bakery in the middle of Carmel.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like that. That's all I was assuming. Like, is it good? I'm like, well, shit, it's in the middle of fucking Carmel. There's like one street, you know?
Literally one street. And it's so dog friendly. That's where we got my dog portrait done for my dog. Oh, it's beautiful. Love it. Love it. But he's also extremely spoiled because his mom is a helicopter mom.
Well, she's from Miami. I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Wouldn't she be a life raft mom?
What's a life raft mom? Please indulge me.
Not a helicopter. She had to get here on a life raft.
You can make that joke.
You're
Puerto Rican.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like Balsero mom because it's a raft.
There you go.
Yeah, but yeah. All right.
I was going for the
I'm like,
alliteration.
life raft feels like it came off a cruise ship. Balsero's like they put 3 tires together and attached it to a 56 Chevy and like fucking prayed.
See, I just looked at the rafts.
And that's like it's unfortunate, but that's like the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. Got it.
I was just trying to give a different picture.
You were just being nice.
I was trying.
I'm like,
while being mean, I tried to find a nice way to say it.
Is a raft like a small yacht?
oh my god, yeah. It's really rustic. It's like camping, like on the water with sharks.
So cute. Like,
Oh
what's
my
the
God.
reservation time? Because I
Yeah.
totally want to book a 3-tire raft.
Oh my, wait, hold on. Hold the camera. The shark's behind me. I need a selfie.
Oh my God, what kind of shark? We gotta get it for the gram.
I mark
hope
my
it
words.
bites my leg.
Mark my words. Someone's gonna do that one day.
What,
They're
bite my
gonna
leg?
They've already done it.
They're gonna sell the life raft whatever experience.
They're gonna
to people.
gentrify it?
Yeah. It'd be like,
my God.
what did you do this weekend?
It's like an
We all
escape room on
pretended that
water.
we were swimming.
Sorry.
This is so much better.
It gives you the true survival experience without the survival.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Escape
If you look onto the inside of every tire, you have a mimosa flight
A mimosa flight.
and 3 Cuba
it
Libres.
would be a mimosa float.
Thank you. Yeah, brilliant. Mimosa float. Yeah. Yeah.
He's so incapacitated, he can't even think.
But so was there something you had wanted to ask
were
him
gonna say
before?
something before.
Oh, yeah, so one thing, like, especially with what you do as a foodie, so one big thing that I had thought of, what is the line that you think of with restaurant bars when they should stop being a restaurant and just be a bar, and when they should stop being a bar and be a restaurant? Like, what is that line where you think when people should stop trying to make their drinks really well when their food is already great and they're trying too hard, and also vice versa?
I mean, I think it's when when one of those is sacrificed. When one of those is sacrificed over the other, that's when already that's like where you draw the line. Where like if you have to really sacrifice X to get Y, then
But they're
just
trying to like promote themselves as that.
oh man, it's a little skewed in this city because there's so many bars that I think make really good food. And example, I went a few weeks ago to Oi Bar in Sherman Oaks.
Oh, I love Oi Bar. The
used to be
boys at Flask and Fine Wine and Whiskeys.
Armand?
Yeah. Oh, fucking Armand. Yeah.
I'm like, I love you, Armand. Why are you charging so much for this fucking whiskey? I love you, Armand. I know why you're charging so much for this fucking whiskey, but Eagle Rare shouldn't cost that much. Anyway,
No, it shouldn't. But,
yeah.
Woo, fun.
But yeah. Oi Bar is fucking. But that's a prime example of a place. This was a fucking dive oyster bar in my old neighborhood of Sherman Oaks. When I used to live in Sherman Oaks, it was like a fucking dive place. You're like, you walk there, and you're like, I won't eat oysters here. You know, like I don't want to shit myself
These
for a
are
week.
Gulf oysters.
Yeah, and then I went to Oi Bar, like I said, like a couple weeks ago, and it was fucking awesome. The drinks were exceptional. The food, precise. That's all I could say about it. Like. Precise. The burger, fire. I was like, oh shit. But that's a prime example of like, okay, you guys do both
They blended it well, yeah.
They blended
They've also
it well.
been doing a lot of work with it because I know all the boys at Flask Fine Wine and Whiskeys that run it in Studio City.
Yeah.
They own Oi Bar. So they've been trying to make it better. Like when I used to have my old job, they were like, we love your olive brine. We need it for our oysters. And I was like, what do you mean? You guys are a spirit shop. It's like, well, we're running Oi Bar now and we're elevating it. So it's good to know that actually worked.
It did. And I mean, it's not really answering your question. I'm trying to figure out what that fine line is, but it's a matter of what you want to do. Do you want to keep people here for a drink, or do you want to keep like drinks make more money to me than food do? So what what are you trying to do? Where do I draw the line? Ah, fuck me. I really, that's probably one of the toughest questions. I don't know if I have an answer for that. It's really based on each experience. That comes
with also examples too, and we don't try to make examples of that on the show, but like it's like examples of bars. Like it can be a good and a negative. Like you can say they have really good food, but like they should maybe not try to make their bar program a main thing as well as their food.
Everson Royce reminds me of it's another place that has fucking great drinks and the food is fire. And you're just like, all right, well, fuck you. And I mean, fuck you is a positive thing. It's just like, it's like, great. I'm happy to be here. And guess what? It didn't.
Like, why are you so good?
Cost me a whole paycheck. You know, to go have a happy hour burger for $14 or whatever, and that burger's delicious. And then you have a drink, and you walk out of there, and you can go and have an experience for $50. Or less than, but that's with tip and tipping well. And you're like, fuck, I really feel complete tonight. And maybe that's it. It's feeling complete as a consumer.
Yeah, okay.
So if I feel complete, if your focus is drinks and I'm just having your fries, cool, I fuck with that. There better be okay fries at least.
Right.
At least.
If I feel complete and I'm having your tip-top cocktail like a Death & Co, and then your food is also fucking delicious like a Death & Co, I'm like, cool. This is like just icing on the cake, and we're lucky that we live in a city that you have more than one place that can deliver that experience.
Yeah, because it's been my experience sometimes, like, and this is why I don't order cocktails out, because I know they're basically riding off their coattails of like their food and their Michelin star, but their cocktails are like, so like, why am I paying $22 for a Vesper I can make better at home, or why am I paying $22 for your off-brand version of a whiskey sour that I can make better at home, but your food is so fucking bomb that like I'm not gonna order your cocktails. Like I'll get a glass of wine because you can't fuck up pouring a glass of wine unless you break it.
I mean,
unless it's corked and you kept pouring it.
You can fuck it up, but I really hope you wouldn't.
Right, exactly. It's like,
and there's also a place right down the street from here. I don't want to call them by name because I'm about to say something negative. But every time I go there, I don't go there anymore because of an incident with this. Not an incident, but an interaction with the server. So now I refuse to go there. But the whole reason I used to go there is because their food was so fucking good, and it's soul food. And on the West Coast,
I wonder which place that is.
It is so hard to find good soul food. But this place over at LA Live has amazing fucking food. And their bar program is the most unimaginative I've ever seen in my entire life. Going to a place that had great food to have such a shitty fucking bar menu. It's like, they don't give a fuck about the bar. And I'm not.
That place?
Where's that?
In the chat box.
No. Oh, yes. Yeah, I was reading your text. I didn't know what you were showing me. Yes, absolutely.
You showed him a dick pic, and he knew exactly which place it was. Yeah.
Like, holy shit,
the eggplant place. I know that place. All right, sorry. Eggplant parm, it's great. All right.
But to be perfectly honest,
eggplant's a little short.
Every time I would go there, I would always be like, you know what? Just give me a beer. Just give me a beer, because your cocktail program is so shit. You do not care about your bartenders. You do not care about your bar. You know that the food is the only thing that brings people in. But to me, if I was a bartender there, I'd like to make something a little bit more inspired with this great fucking food. Let me do something different. Let me do something that people
like, use some Cajun spices. Use
anything. Use anything other than just making a fucking sidecar. You don't need to put a sidecar on your menu. I can look at your clientele and know that you make sidecars. It just is what it is.
And Ryan
it's a sidecar place. So if I get there and that's what I get, all right, cool. Then I'll just get a beer, and then on top of it, like I said, the service usually would be good. But this one time, like, the server literally insulted me and the other guy that I was there at the table with, and they weren't even our server.
Isn't that the worst, dude?
Yeah. I was just like, I kind of looked like, we both looked at each other like, did they just say what they said? And we were like, yeah, no, they said it. And we're like, all right, cool. Well, I guess I won't be coming back.
Yeah,
because your drinks
That's why
suck.
I'm never going back to a KBBQ joint.
Oh, I love KBBQ though.
I do too, but like this place is so.
One place in particular.
Yeah, one place
Absolutely.
in particular. Oh
Absolutely.
no, I will still. Oh my god, Korean barbecue is one of the best fucking things on the
And I
face of
think
the
it
planet.
fits so perfectly with what we're discussing right now about whether or not the food or the service will make you go back.
You know what? I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. I think
All
you're
right,
right.
come on, let's go.
I think the service does matter a lot because we haven't been back to that place
we
since
converted him.
since the last time we went.
Yeah.
So, and the
we flipped
food
them.
is really fucking good. It is, but yeah, I remember when we went that one time, which was the last time we went together. Haven't been back since. We were sitting at the bar.
Yeah.
And I think we were doing takeout, or
We ordered to go, but even in us ordering to go and sitting at the bar, waiting for our food, even the bartender was discussing about like, yeah, the money's pretty good and I kind of enjoy working here, but there's so many restrictions placed on me about how I can look, about my hair, about my nails, about this, and like all these different things.
You wouldn't do well then.
Oh no, absolutely not. And that's what I said to that bartender. I went back a couple months later and they were still there and they cut all their hair off. And they had not a similar hairstyle to mine, but it was one of those where it was very distinctive. It was one of those
the
things
Yankees. Like playing for the Yankees, you can't have facial hair. You can't have
Not Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Yeah, fuck
Johnny Damon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Johnny Damon.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He was when he played for the Boston Red Sox. He had a great beard, and his long hair was actually very nice. But as soon as he went to the Yankees, they're like, "You ain't allowed to have that fucking shit here. Shave it all off. Get a crew cut.
You lose
Then can play
identity.
for the-"
I think you lose identity as a bartender, as a server,
That's
as a
why he
human
wasn't Johnny
being.
Caveman anymore.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk about that a little bit now, and then I'd love to also segue that into when Kia comes on, because that's one of the things I've been wanting to discuss for a long time, is the amount of power that an establishment can have over you just because you work there. I know that you said that you haven't worked in the industry the way that we have, but you have been so adjacent to it and you've been a part of it in so many different ways. So there's still
I mean,
like
and I have
points in
worked
which
in restaurants, but it's been so long and it's changed so much. I don't feel like I'm in that space
and
now.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like
And have you
so I
ever
was
bucked
saying
that power before?
yeah.
Because oh boy, I think we all have at one point when we bucked the power.
Yeah.
And
In what
it-
sense? Like
Like said, fuck you, no, we're not doing that.
Right,
Not
like, so-
specifically that, but it's like no.
no,
we're
but
not
I
gonna
do that a
this.
lot in my own world. I say a lot of
Okay,
fuck you. I'm not doing that. Like,
Right.
yeah. I've been blessed. Like the freedom of saying no is one of the greatest freedoms you will ever have.
Absolutely.
And that is just from my experience. But I got to a point where I can say no. But I understand exactly what you were saying. It's like having, it's not even a fuck you mentality. It's just, this doesn't work for me. If I'm compromising my integrity, then I'm not doing a good job for your place because I am not me. You know, so that we're always a version of us, right? We can't just,
Absolutely.
You know, I can't work at a restaurant and see somebody come in with a Jet shirt and be like, "Fuck the Jets." Hi, can I serve you a beer? You know what I mean? Like, I can't do it. And mind
Depending
you, I
on
want to
where
tell
you
them
are
fuck
in
the
New
Jets.
York, depending on where you are in New York, it's expected.
It's expected. That's fair.
That you have to be at that place.
Yeah,
that's
right,
different.
right. So it's just like one of those things. So it's like
The Bills fan in Buffalo.
Yeah, nah, they'll kick you out.
do that.
They'll kick
Don't
you
do
out.
that.
Yeah.
I did that once.
But I
and
love
had
the
to fight
wings.
off a few people.
The wings.
I love the sauce. No, all right.
all about the
Sauce
sauce.
better than the actual wings, by the way.
Agreed.
Oh yeah, the Anchor Steam. No, just Anchor Bar. Anchor Bar in Buffalo. Their wings, shit. Like the way they cook them, awful. But the sauce, there's a reason why it's the original Buffalo sauce.
Right on.
Oh my god, so delicious. But the way they cook the wings, a little too crispy for my taste.
I'll put buffalo sauce on anything. I love that shit. Anyway,
It's like Frank's, put that shit on everything.
Oh, fuck, I love it.
You've been to Chicago. You ever had mild sauce?
You have a
What?
what?
Mild sauce. Since
If
you
I
guys-
did, I don't remember it's being called mild sauce, but what is it?
It's fuck, the way to
Put it on
describe
my
it.
pizza.
The way to describe it, it's like this mixture, like tangy, savory, not really spicy. It's just
It's
But what's in it?
Frank's and Thousand Island.
Got it.
It's like
thank you. Okay, I tried that.
Every place makes it differently.
Got it.
It's really hard to say what.
But it's kind of that blend. Like you get that wonderful tangy lightness of Thousand Island, but you get that like Frank's hit of spice. Where it's not overwhelming you.
That's the closest way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
for all
it's
of
like
our
a very
non-Chicago people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is me.
Me too.
I know you got to get going here soon, so I wanted to say thank you for coming on.
I wasn't for sure.
Absolutely.
Before the thank you, I actually had one more question.
Never
Bring it, dude. Please.
I had one more question.
mind. Yeah.
It also can be one that is very short.
No, man,
but it was one of the things that you also asked the guests, I think, on your latest episode, because that's what we were listening to
last
today.
episode was Carl Spirit and Spoon. Yeah.
But the way that you verbalize it is a little different than the way that we normally do it. So I wanted to ask you, no matter like which version of you that has worked in these different levels, I'm just saying, just in general, what is your general red flag? Like the thing that gets, could you ask Carl pet peeve? So for us, the way that we always, verbal it is red flag. What is your main red flag that can just set you off in any aspect? Doesn't have to be cooking, bartending, any of it. Just your
laziness. Laziness can mean you walked by my table and I just had a dish with a red sauce, and the next dish is not anywhere near this, and you saw it was fucking sloppy, and you didn't take the time to say, hey, can we switch this silverware and this plate's out? Something like that could, and mind you, I'm still gonna tip you 20%, but I will never fucking be back there. I'm not gonna talk about it again. I'm not gonna recommend it to people. It's just like little laziness in anything, because I'm a lot of things. One thing I'm not is lazy. I work for me. If in my mind I think you got up at 6, I'm gonna get up at 5:30.
Well,
that's just how I'm built.
Bred for laziness. Like,
Yeah.
You guys are hard.
I was literally thinking to myself, you
Yeah.
can't be an immigrant and be lazy.
Yeah, not at all.
No.
Despite what they try to tell you in this country.
No.
It's quite the opposite.
No, and
Very much quite the opposite,
there's a
yeah.
generational trauma that comes with being the descendants of Cuban exiles. There's shit that they went through that we could never fathom, but it's been put on our shoulders, and we try our best to interpret whatever our parents, our grandparents, whatever went through. And I think that's one thing that you can control. You can't control the kitchen fucked up. But you can control your effort 100%.
Oh, hell yeah.
So that is my biggest red flag. If the effort is not there, if you're making excuse, and you can say, hey, that's cool, but if there's an acknowledgement and there's an effort, and when I don't have that in anything in life, like I can't fuck with you if you don't work hard.
Right.
I can't.
Absolutely.
I can't. I mean, I can respect you and love you as a person, but I can't work with you. You can't be in this space if you do not work hard.
Yeah.
Because you gotta bring it.
I can't work with you if I have to work around you. I'm
100%.
sorry. If I have to work
If
around
I'm working
your
double
laziness,
to get the same shit done because of
Right.
your laziness, no.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no, it
it ain't
doesn't
gonna
fly.
Yeah,
happen.
there's definitely been friends that I have that I've worked with, and like I love them as friends, but I'm like, I should not be pulling double duty while you are here with me and doing whatever bullshit you are doing. I'm seeing you lean on the bar, chat with a chick, chat with a guy, like whatever it is. Like I should not be looking at you doing no work while we have double amount of work to do. I should not be covering you.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Absolutely.
It's just, but that would be, that's probably my biggest thing, and that's in everything. It doesn't matter if the restaurant and food. It's just laziness.
Yeah.
It leaves a foul taste in my mouth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've always equated like the service industry to one of the things we always would talk about, and it's a major callback because it's one of the titles of one of our episodes, is that it's not a relay race when it comes with the guests. I'm not trying to run a relay race to get all of your drinks. But when it comes to us working, it is absolutely a relay race because you are passing the baton to me or vice versa. And so if you hand it to me and I don't run as fast as you do, and then therefore we don't win or we don't get the tip or whatever, I feel like I failed you, and vice versa. If I ran hard to get this to you as fast as possible, and I hand this guess off to you,
last lap,
absolutely,
it's fucking awful. Yeah.
Absolutely,
That's happened to me way too many times where I put in so much work, and I'm like, okay, I'm doing this, that, and the other thing. All you got to do is finish X, Y, and Z, da da da, and I'll come back around in 10 minutes, and there's still like drinks sitting there, and I'm like,
nothing's been done.
Those aren't cold anymore. They're supposed to go out cold. People are gonna hate us. Why the fuck did you not listen to me?
Yeah.
Why they're not out yet? You have a whole jar of mint in front of you. Put the fucking mint leaf on it and get it out there. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like Carl said, if I giving you water and you drink it as like within a minute or 2 minutes, I'm gonna be watching that. Now, let's say I have to go on break, or I have to go take care of another guest, or that guest wasn't in my section, they were in your section, and I got to hand that off to you. They shouldn't have an empty water glass 10 minutes later. Like, you should be paying attention to their water, to their drink, and everything.
It's also a water refill takes about 5 seconds.
Doesn't take long at all. And and it's one of those things that you're not wasting product, although in California you kind of are, but you're not wasting product by refilling the water. If they don't drink the water and you just have to pour it out, you've lost nothing.
It's not like you're refilling their whiskey or something like that.
But if they're sitting there and they had an empty water for a long amount of time, that may be the thing that causes them to not come back, because you really didn't take care of me.
Order actual drinks from you.
Exactly. Yeah. That might be the thing that tells them, you know what, let's go to the next place. When instead they could have took a sip, carried on the conversation, and now they stay for that other drink, or that other appetizer, or that dessert. You know, you just never know. So that was an excellent answer. Thank you.
No, if it's the truth, I really wanted like, to, I haven't thought about it, but like, it's just like one of those things. It's funny because on my show, I'll ask these things, and sometimes I forget to ask myself the same shit. It's not even like I just
we do that all the time.
Yeah. And honestly, thank you for taking the time to listen to any part of the show, because of my show. So thank you, because it means the world to me. And if you listen to any of it, I always tell people, I'm like, the only thing we don't get back in life is time. And I'm so I'm always present to acknowledge people and honor them for giving their time. So like, thank you for listening to the show.
No, thank you for coming
on. As we're doing that, tell all our viewers and folks out there, remind them what your podcast is.
So I have a little show called Kill the Bottle Podcast. We talk about food, wine, drinks, the people that make them and the people that drink them. And it is myself and my co-host, Megan Elizabeth, aka Megan the Mess, on social media, because she's a fucking mess, and it's great. It's like, I love her to death. She's like a sister that I didn't know I had.
If it was the Stallion, he probably would not be here with
She's
us.
like a white, German descent sister I didn't know I had. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who could drink me under the table, which is impressive.
Well, of course. As soon as you said German, we knew
that. I was like, she's like this big, and where does it go? Where does it go? You're holding a beer. It's gone. I don't know where it went.
And then what's your social media handle?
I am at the Yum Yum Foodie on all social platforms, at the Yum Yum Foodie. So thank you guys.
Thank you for being on.
Oh my God, you gave us your time of day. We're very appreciative of that.
And you have
without shoes. I feel like I'm in Japan. It's kind of amazing. Except I'm not sitting on the floor, but it really feels like I'm in Tokyo again. That's
what's
great.
Up. Yeah. That's what's up, man.
I don't know if the camera shows the shoes or my.
No. We cut that part.
Oh my.
The camera can probably smell my shoes.
Everybody's socks.
Top of the knees.
All right, good.
Right here. You're good.
Everyone's
good. So if Lance Armstrong was here, he would have a camel toe, like literally the camera. Not even. Is it a camel pinky toe?
Knuckle.
Camel. What is it? Is it a thumb toe? What the fuck is it? Like, I don't even know. Camel big toe?
Hump?
Camel big toe. Yeah, camel big toe. He only has one nut.
Camel who went through a very traumatic injury.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, so thank you for real, guys. And thank you, Kia, for being so patient. And I'm proud of you, because I've been following that glass of wine like as if I was at a place, and I'm like, oh shit, she's
been real good at that.
She's been really good. She's still got to
perform. Nursing it.
Still got to perform.
Give credit where it's due.
You guys are rude. It's because I drink my drinks We're gonna.
So normally me too.
Let's toast to Eddie. Thank you again for coming in, and then we'll do a small transition, and we will switch over. But thank you again, boss.
This is my first time trying the rum, so I'm excited.
I would say don't do it as a shot if it's your first time trying it.
I almost did.
No.
All right.
Ooh.
Yeah. Right.
Ooh.
Right.
Yeah, a little hot at first sip, and then it goes away. What's up?
It tastes even better with the story.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, like I mean, like anything, man. Yeah.
Like I taste the culture in it.
Also, you told that story very well.
Clip very well.
Yeah, mind you, I sincerely don't have a
Nice.
You don't have a spiel.
Nah, man.
It's
No. It's just like, I mean, there's some factual information, but yeah,
From the heart.
Yeah, it's not
I don't sell it
life.
I don't like tell it the same twice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
like your last guest said,
That's like me with
you have
my
that one
therapist.
thing. You have that one thing that can't be taught. Passion.
100%, man.
Passion for
100%.
something. It shines through.
My parents went through too much shit for me to be lazy and not have passion.
Nice.
Yeah.
Same.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
As much as I'm going through with all of my therapy with them, I still recognize that they worked hard to make me be where I am. So I had the wherewithal to go experience what I wanted to fucking experience, have the strength to survive it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes not. We forget that our parents weren't necessarily all equipped with the knowledge that we have now of things like therapy, and they just knew what they knew, and doesn't make it okay,
Right.
But you still have to acknowledge if they didn't know that penicillin could cure this, then fuck it, they just didn't know.
Yeah.
So there's certain aspects. I don't know why I threw a penicillin.
I was about to say,
I was like, fuck, it's all I can think of now.
What therapy was? They didn't like it.
No, they thought it was actually pronounced the rapey. That's what fucking like ruined it for them. They just didn't know. And then now, once they know that you call it therapy, they're like, you know what? That might be good. Yeah.
Is it because it's a mind fuck?
But you have to like acknowledge, like sometimes they it doesn't make it okay, but they didn't know the power of it, I think, and how okay it is.
Well, everything was so stigmatized, as everything is, until people actually are educated.
Yeah, like
by
if you
it.
went to therapy, that meant you were like ultra fucked up back then.
correct.
To them.
Taboo.
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
Now you're more fucked up if you don't.
Right.
Yeah. Now you're an asshole if you don't do it.
Yeah. Now you're lazy.
Ooh.
Nobody wants to work with them.
There it is.
Oof.
Nobody wants to work
Nice
with
callback.
them.
On that note, Kia, please come on.
Thank you again,
yeah.
and to everybody out
one
there.
Sorry,
The
one
thing
thing.
that he was
When's
just talking about. The thing he was just talking about. With it being the holiday season, and I know that we all have family coming in, which is one of the reasons why he has to leave, or you are the family member traveling. We just want to say, be safe. Be happy. If you want to reconcile, do it. If you don't, that's fine too. But just always remember that everyone's fighting a battle, or everyone's dealing with stuff that they might not be able to talk to. And now is the time of year to be able to have those discussions, as opposed to, hey, I'm going to see that one family member or whatever, and now we got to fight and fuck up the mac and cheese for everybody. Like,
Don't
take that
fuck up the
time.
mac and cheese.
Don't
have
fuck
those
up that stuffing.
conversations.
Yeah.
If you have a conversation that you've been holding off for the holidays, how about you talk to them before you all meet together? So
Before you start drinking.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah, before you go raid that one cupboard, they've been hiding all the whiskey in it.
Yeah.
When's your next episode?
Next episode is gonna be soon, probably next week or the week after. It is with a gentleman by the name of Jason Yu, aka Jason FU on social media. He is a bartender over at the Wolves, right down the street from where we are now.
Shit. Nathan was the guy who hired me for my first job.
Yeah,
Nathan McCullough
great spot.
Yeah, shout out to Nathan. I know he
Jason's one of my
doesn't
best
really
dogs,
listen.
and he is one of the most talented people I have ever met behind a bar.
That is fucking
and one of the most, and I may have said it in the show, and I don't remember because I fucking recorded it like 2 weeks ago. But he is one of the people that has the most refined palate I've ever, and not in a douchey way. He's just somebody who has, like, you can hear a piece of music and hear the chord changes or hear whatever.
Yeah,
He's like that when it comes
insane.
to wine, spirits, and food. So it was a great chat with one of my best homies, and it was like great because we don't talk about stuff we normally talk about. So I was like, shit, I know you better now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I will also say, not just because you're here, because I would say it after you leave, but now that I've remembered it, your show is definitely the type of show I would listen to as someone who has a passion for this industry, especially all of us, we do, that we're doing the show. But it really felt like a conversation with people who are in the industry and talking about what got them in on a deeper level, and it was still funny, but it was very informative, and it was just so many different like ways that it would go. So, you know, thank you for putting that out there, man, and just please continue to grow it.
I'm
the only thing I ask is that you please do video, because I'd love to see video, man. I'd love to see it. Like,
we have some video. We have some video. I'll tell you that.
Put it out there, man.
I was looking for the YouTube link, and it's
we have some video, but I shoot in my house, and it's just one of those things. Sometimes I can get the cameras up, and sometimes like the episode you heard with Carl, I may have already had a few before we started. That's the beauty of shooting in my house.
We have a bunch.
I mean, we totally understand that. Like,
you want to keep coming to the studio to record? I'm like, they're like, do you want to fucking build a speakeasy in your garage and shoot there? I'm like, I'm in.
Yes,
I'm in. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Man.
Yeah. So anyway, it's one of those. So thank you, bro. Thank you for
and thank you for doing that, and wish you much success, man. For real.
Thank you. No, I wish you guys the best, dude. I'm glad I met this gentleman right here. Yeah.
Welcome in, Kia.
and we're ready.
Hi guys.
What's up, Kia?
I know I look a little bit different.
Yeah.
Got my hair did.
Got it did and
Got
done.
it did and done.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's coming off. Like
I
tonight.
still feel like you did that just to ride in a convertible.
Oh, absolutely. I went to San Diego with my friend this weekend, and he has a drop top BMW, and I just didn't. I wanted hair to flow in the wind, so it was really.
Yeah. It's hard to do that with a shaved.
Yeah,
head.
exactly. I was like, nothing's gonna be moving around except my eyelashes. You know,
which you're still gonna be jealous about because his will be longer.
oh no, his hair is literally longer than mine, so I was like, I had to match his energy.
That's what's up.
You know.
And speaking of long hair,
Fabio. All right,
speaking of long hair and matching energy, we were just talking with Eddie before he left, and we were talking about how when you're working at a place, the different rules for appearance and things like that. And I'd mentioned that I wanted to hear your side of it. So
yeah. So I've been very fortunate to work at a lot of places that I have not been really told like what to do. They like want me to express myself. So like my blonde hair, my nose ring, my long nails, like has never really been an issue. My current place of employment is now putting in a set of rules. So I can't have colored hair anymore. Can't have long nails anymore. I don't think I'm supposed to have my nose ring, but they hired me with it, so it's staying. Sorry, it's staying.
It's such a small nose ring. It's not like you're putting a gauge in your septum.
Exactly. But I think the best place I ever worked at was really okay with just me being who I was Soho House, because it is an artist. It's like a member club for like artists and artists of all types. And so they wanted their staff to kind of also give that. So we all wore like jewelry and like cool earrings, and like our nails had like crazy designs, and like my hair changed, and this is before I shaved my head, so my hair changed like every 2 weeks. Like I had braid up into a ponytail, I had a blue like lace front, I had like box braids, I was all over the place, and it was really it was so like nice just to be able to be like, whatever I'm feeling right now, like they're okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, but again, most companies like that one, they weren't like corporate yet either. So like it's when like a company goes corporate, then you have all these rules that you need to follow. Like, you know what I mean? Also, I'm not working at like a Michelin star restaurant. If I did, I would literally have to be like, no, you can't do this. Your hair needs to be pulled back into a ponytail. Your makeup needs to be, fully buttoned up, and your makeup needs to be neutral. Like this would be like a little too much. Like not any of the shininess in the middle, and like just very boring. For lack of a better word, they want you to look like cookie cutter and like Michelin star restaurants. And I'm like, I just like to express. I think expressing myself like physically is like how that's just how I like feel good, you know. Right. Oh shit, how I feel good about myself. I almost knocked over the whole table. Shit. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. Like I'm very, again, fortunate to have chosen jobs and chosen places that like me and my personality and like the way I show it. And I'm always kept and clean. Like my hair, I never come into work with like, oh, my hair is like sticking out this way or whatever. And like my makeup is like super like ugly, or like I don't want to say ugly because everyone's idea of makeup is very different. But
never came in looking like walk of shame
levels. I've come in without any makeup and people thought it was a walk of shame, and I was like, you're rude, this is just my face. I was like, this is my face, you can go suck a dick. I was like, thank you so much. But yeah, never like walk of shame moments. Like it's just, you know, I don't know, I just feel like I've been lucky. I've been very, very lucky.
And so as you were explaining that, I kind of had a thought that I hadn't really had before, and I'd love to hear everyone else's opinion on it. It seems as if the higher up a establishment goes, as far as it going from mom and pop to corporate to Michelin star and things like that, it becomes more about the broader appeal. So therefore, it's not
more robotic in a sense, right? Because when you have like your mom and pops, you are not really focused on, oh my God, everyone needs to be looking uniform. Usually they give you a t-shirt, you're wearing jeans, you have your Converse on, you're fine. Then you move up into like a little bit more corporate. Now you have a uniform on, you have aprons, you need to have X, Y, and Z on you at all times, pens, keys, bottle opener, a wine key, all that stuff. Lighter, that's like you're getting more corporate. At this point, this is when they're like, we need your shoes to be black and to be non-slip. And then we also, the safety things. And then hair out of the face, blah, blah, blah. And then you go into Michelin star where it becomes like, you're wearing a suit jacket. You really aren't even wearing an apron. You're like literally like ballroom waiter. You know what I mean?
It has to fit at this certain cut. It has to be at this certain length.
Yes, they usually get them tailored. Like it's like very, and as you get even higher in that, they end up, it's funny because the whole discriminatory thing, like you can't hire X, Y, and Z people, but you'll notice if you go to certain specific like Michelin star restaurants, everyone kind of looks the same.
Mm-hmm.
And
and that's part of what I was getting at was it seems that the higher up you go, it becomes less about you as an individual of service, and it becomes more about the level of service.
Yes, it's literally not about you. Like you don't need to. I don't need to be presenting anything about myself except for the facts of the dishes and the drinks that are being put in front of you. Yeah. Like you don't need my personality. You need the food and the drink. You need the food and the drink. That's the most important part. So it's not like, because you guys were talking about before.
You're not even there at that point. You're a mage hand that's
and
plates and stuff.
How you guys were saying service is more important than food.
Only within 10 feet.
Yeah, when you get into like the Michelin star era, friendly, yes. Personable, no, they're really not. You're really there for the food to shine. You know what I mean? And your server will be on top of their game. Like service will be excellent, but it won't be personable. Like you're not going to be cracking jokes about what you did on a Tuesday with this Michelin star server. Like, you know what I mean? They're here to be like, this is what our amuse bouche is for today. Yeah. It's going to have this, and this.
Yeah,
what and a funny joke.
And a place like that, the only time they care about your name is so that they can say, our server is.
Yes.
Can you find this person, as opposed to they want to know your name because they care about you.
They're like, oh my God, I love you. You're so funny. Like, I want to be your friend.
Right. And like, where's our person we ordered our shrimp from 3 minutes ago so we can complain about them?
Yeah. So like to finish what you were saying, it was basically like the higher up you go, the less of a person they want you to be and more of like an automatic like robot. Which again, hey, the higher up you go, also the more money you're gonna start making.
Exactly.
So
I will be robotic for that paycheck.
I was gonna say I'll throw my throw my personality away real quick if I get hired at the row with the two Michelin star restaurant.
The more of that Kool-Aid you have to drink, though.
You drink the Kool-Aid, and
guess
what?
You gotta drink.
Exactly, and you really have to.
What Kool-Aid? I'm just living it, P.
But it's really, really important for them to make sure the food is the important part of that experience, not yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you, obviously, if you're ever trying to get into the service industry, take that into consideration and make sure you're choosing a place where, of course you want to make money, but like, what are you willing to give up?
Yeah.
What are you sacrificing?
What are you sacrificing?
Yeah.
What did it cost?
What did it cost?
Everything.
Just my dignity.
I don't even know who I am anymore. This restaurant is my life. As far as I'm sorry. Are you
no, I'm good.
I've never really like changed drastically, so I can't really say I have much of an input because I don't color my hair. I barely wear my earrings sometimes, and even that's never been a problem. So you don't see the tongue piercing. So I'm like, hey, how are you?
I didn't even know you had a tongue piercing till right.
Exactly.
You working on the corner at that point.
How many?
I set myself up for
when
that
I had one, I used to. When I had a tongue piercing, I made sure all my guests knew it. Like,
I had no idea you had a tongue piercing until right now. Like, we've known each other for how many months, and I'm just now seeing this. See, he's good at hiding it, okay?
Yeah.
But like, okay, has a job ever made you shave, or have you ever had to like, gel your hair a certain way, or like?
Is the keeping the facial hair clean?
Clean. You're not looking like ruggedy, but
fortunately, all that for me means because I have terrible genetics. Sorry, Dad, but my facial hair just doesn't like.
It doesn't do
push
full
on
beard.
my face, but it's just kind of like, you don't want the neck
You're
beard
not an
and keep
Irishman. We get it.
Yeah, I have shitty Mexican facial hair.
Oh, it's patchy.
It takes you 3 years to grow a half a goatee.
To get this took me 30 years. And even this is still fucking patchy as shit.
I'm right there with you. I am right there with you. So I don't think it's Mexican. I think it's Puerto Rican because my shit does not grow.
I don't know. My grandpa.
All I got is
my
this.
grandpa on both sides. Both have really nice mustaches. I'd rock a mustache.
I feel like you could do a mustache.
Entire life.
Not like that. Not like that. Not like that. Though. No.
Puerto Ricans can grow a mustache. Look at El DeBarge.
It's really thin.
That's what they had was
thin.
mustaches.
It's really thin.
Hey, that's a look. You just got to change the whole wardrobe to fit that style.
Yeah. If you're gonna be a mustache guy, you got to be a mustache.
You got to be a mustache guy.
Yeah,
You're
and it can't
mustache
just
guy.
be that.
No, it
I already
needs to
saw you
be-
getting ready.
It's
You
gotta
can't
be,
just
it's
do
gotta
that.
be like pencil stash. That's what it's gotta be.
Not pencil, but like
that's
you just
pedophilia.
that's like a little creepy. That's a little creep.
It leads me to mustache you a question.
Jesus Christ, Ryan.
You don't.
Yes.
You don't
Wow.
get
It's
it.
been
You know
too
what?
long. I haven't
I mean,
seen this man in so long.
You put the effort in. I'll give you that.
It didn't
That's it.
land.
I can't give you the rest because that was too much. That made me uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable. I'm done.
Wait,
Self-dings.
Well, yeah, like facial hair being one of those things. Just make sure it doesn't look like you haven't cared about your appearance in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, as
Either
long
shave
as
it off or trim it or whatever. But
Yeah.
other than that, for me, I don't.
which I've always been the person who says that individuality is the most important thing. So how I look when I am not clocked into this place should not matter to you. I do agree with that, but I have seen instances because I have colored hair where I have coworkers who have colored hair and then management will talk to them about their hair and they're saying, oh, well, he has colored hair. It's like, yeah, but he takes care of his.
Yeah.
Those coworkers would come in and
You
literally
looking crazy.
they look like they just literally rolled out of bed.
Yes.
And
That's
their
the
hair is
whole thing.
colored, so it stands out
It stands
more.
out, yeah. You
And
look like a
do
crazy,
not-
you look like a panda bear, like someone just took a pillow and just went
Yeah.
on your
I
head.
can say it looks nappy as shit.
Depending on the person.
I don't think you can say it. Because
Can you
after
say
you
it,
said it, I was just like, no, shouldn't have said that.
I don't agree.
Yeah, that one.
Well, it's good to have me back.
I'm gonna get us a boo button. Boo.
We need
I
that
booed
old.
myself.
We need that old. What was it? The Staples
The
button.
Staples
Just-
button.
Yeah, just go ahead and make that joke better for him. I see what you were saying. You
I know
just
what you mean.
picked the wrong word.
But it's like usually
That's
when people
all.
have bleached hair and it's like colored a certain color, especially if they don't keep up with the color, it starts fading out and looking like really weird. And if you don't like add any product in your hair, it like doesn't look great.
Right.
Like you literally just end up looking like
that
you
color
rolled out it.
restorative shampoo and all that stuff.
Well, that's not really that. No. I've
it does-
had a lot of
What it
I've had a
does-
lot of color
what,
hair.
what color this? What you just said. What that does is it isn't that it's restoring color. It pulls out other colors.
Yeah. So
So,
like purple
depending on-
shampoo, it removes the yellow from my hair.
Yes.
Yeah, a couple of
Yeah.
my like cosmetology friends have told me like if you have a certain color, you have to use these certain things because
Yes.
that color will either highlight or help the color you want to look for.
So that's
You
usually
might
for
have
like
a
normal.
yellow 6, red 14,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
You need to look for a shampoo that'll help accent that so you don't look like a Nazi gold bar as soon as you wash your hair.
So that's for like normally for
That
people
happened
who've
to me.
had.
That's why I'm saying it for
I just
Nando.
need to keep you away from N words because you've said nappy and Nazi in the same.
like 5 minutes.
2.5 minutes.
I'm afraid of the hard R now.
I just need no more N words from you for the rest of the episode. You don't even get to say N. There's no N for you.
I was like, I don't want soft A. I don't want hard R.
It's negotiable.
No, it's not. That's an N word, and you don't get to say that anymore.
So about the about the shampoo that you were talking about, though, basically what happens is that's usually when you have like your hair dyed blonde or like a certain type of brown or something like that. I'm talking about people who have like literally colored hair, like it's blue, green, purple, blah, blah, blah. There's no shampoo to save you unless you literally take your hair dye in the bathtub and you're washing your hair with it. So your hair is automatically going to fade out. No matter what. This is like for people, I'm talking about colored, like colorful hair.
Yeah, not a neutral color.
Not a normal people color. Not blonde, not brown, not black. This is for like colorful hair. There's no real shampoo to like literally keep that intact. What ends up happening is it fades, and then if you don't actually use hair product in your hair will start looking like bristles, and you look like a broomstick. Because your hair is probably fried from bleaching. And then now you're not actually like hydrating your hair with any like oils or any like.
Never bleached my hair.
So just know that if you're going to be the person who is working in front of people, as a server, bartender, busser, whatever it is, especially in this industry, knowing if you're going to have colored hair, that means you have to take care of it.
There's very much so.
There are no shortcuts to it. You know, like people talk about my hair because it's different. Yeah. But there were a lot of years where my hair looked like shit because I didn't know what I was doing. Once you learn how to take care of your hair and you learn how to do it the right way, then it's easier for you to tell a job, no, I'm not changing my hair color to work with you. I'm not changing my haircut to work with you because my hair is always tip top. I take care of my shit. I came into the interview with colored hair. That's why I've had colored hair for so long.
And you liked me and you hired me.
You hired me
here
with colored
I am.
hair.
At this point, it's natural.
This is my natural hair color, blonde.
As far as you know, the carpet matches the drapes.
It does. I'm not saying from experience. Also, I wasn't talking about him, so this is really weird. I made it really awkward.
What if mine are low hanging?
I don't know what to do. I don't know
You
what
need
to
to talk
do.
to your decorator, I guess.
I don't know what to do. I can't save my
head first into that one.
I do. And
at first you say.
Yay! This is how do I get back out of this?
That was for both of us. That was alley-oop. That was the dunk.
Alley-oop?
I couldn't even look at you. I had to turn my face this way because I was like, what the fuck did you just say?
I tuned it out until y'all brought more attention to it. I was like, nah, I didn't hear that.
She brought attention to it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Once it was brought back, I was like, oh shit, I did hear
We could have
that.
just skated over that, but she was
So should we move on to the topic of subbing ingredients and drinks? Because
I was gonna segue it, but you can
but I
just
beat you to it,
shoehorn it in.
baby.
You can just shoehorn it in.
Ryan.
I had the segue.
Wow, Ryan.
You gotta work on
I
your
never
segues.
typically went into it. I'm just finding all the N words I can think of actually at this point just to piss you off.
I feel like
I
the
need you
two
to
black
stop
people-
trying to find all the N words that you can.
I feel like the
You
two,
don't get to do that, sir.
I feel like the two
I
black
wasn't
people on this
talking
side
about
are
that
not.
N-word. Now I feel bad.
We're not okay. Now I'm uncomfortable.
I feel negative.
More uncomfortable than I was 30 seconds before. Anyway,
So,
have you guys been drinking since before I got here?
Speaking of words that you should not say or should say or whatever, when it comes to things that are on the menu a certain way, it is that way for a reason. Like, as I was saying, speaking of words you shouldn't say them for a reason. But a menu is set because it's set that way. It doesn't mean that you're able to sub things in, sub things out. No, I can't take the vodka out of this and make it gin if it's already infused.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, but the word infused means it's infused. That's why we use it. So let's open the floor to everybody. Let's start with Ryan. You know, how often have you run into that kind of problem where you're either overhearing, because I know you're more of a on the rep side now, but overhearing a guest talking about, hey, can you sub this for this? And I don't even know if people know what the word sub means. They just throw it out there. Sub is substitute. Can you substitute this for this?
They
no,
absolutely don't. They like just think as sub as like the restaurant word for can I have something different? Like they just think it's like the thing to say, but they don't know what it means.
Yeah.
Like some people will be like, oh, this is just a standard vodka cocktail. Like you're making it with Kettle One. Can I have it with maybe this gin instead? All right, cool. You're mixing it different with a clear liquid. I understand that. But like if it is a jalapeno turmeric infused tequila and you are asking me to put whiskey in it, that is not what we built this cocktail for.
Yeah, or we would have put Fireball in.
Gross.
Or yeah, absolutely. And you're,
the bartenders would have taken the Fireball after making that disgusting ass drink. But yeah, so those subs, it's like if you see the liquor has been infused or been worked with, do not ask for a sub. Because that cocktail, like dishes where they have specific mushrooms or specific tomatoes or specific compote that has been made with that, do not ask to sub that out.
Right.
That has been made for a reason.
Yeah.
We make drinks with specific alcohols for a specific reason. If it is your basic Vesper and it says on the menu like Tito's and Tank, and you hate Tito's and you hate Tanqueray, ask for Kettle and Beefeater.
Right.
Or
It's different to ask for a substitution when you're substituting like for like. But when it comes to infusion, there is no like for like. We took the time to infuse it. We took the time to make it this way. That's why it is that way. And if you don't like something that you see on the menu because especially if it says infused with this and you're like, oh, well, I don't like that thing. Well, then pick something else on the menu that has the thing that you like because we made the menu the way that we made it for a reason. If we could sub it out, it wouldn't be infused. Look for your keywords, you know?
Like if you see this cocktail with like Combier, green chartreuse, and a liqueur that you don't find everywhere else, like some high-end Gifford liqueur, and you ask to sub out like whatever high-end liquor we put with that we have all tasted, we have all gone through the training process. It has either been placed there because the rep just paid for it. I do that.
Yeah.
Or the bartenders pick it through a very extensive R&D process. They go through weeks of R&D to find the perfect liquor for this.
Yeah.
And if you try to sub out like some $19 a pour whiskey with the well whiskey, it's not going to taste the same. So stop subbing shit out. Yeah. Like you're not going to sub out your $90 ribeye for like 3 other garnishes that you want on it. You're not going to sub that out. You don't switch out
a tomahawk for chicken.
Right.
All right. So if your cocktail says this, that's what it is.
Like you're not going to ask for your chicken Picard to be made with dinosaur chicken nuggets with the same.
Hey, don't come for the dinosaur chicken nuggets.
I love dinosaur chicken nuggets.
Tiny nuggets
are
great.
But it should not be coming with a top tier Michelin star Alfredo sauce.
Absolutely.
Also, that sounds fire.
Dino nuggets with Alfredo?
With Alfredo sauce? Sounds great.
Yo, bet.
Well, yeah, if you buy your Rouse Alfredo sauce from the store, which Rouse Alfredo sauce is delicious. Rouse.
Are you saying Ralph's?
Rouse.
Like R-O-W?
R-A-O-S. Rouse.
What the hell is that?
Ooh.
Delicious as fuck. That's what it is.
All right,
but what is that?
Send it to us off camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. Send it to us after the show. I want to know what that's about.
Yeah.
But
I thought you were just saying Ralph's wrong.
Like, has this happened to you? And how do you feel about it? Like, I want to hear your side.
Yeah, it's happened at the first place I worked at when I was working as a barback, where people would ask for like whatever thing. It's like, oh, can we not do it like this? And then the bartender had to explain to them. It's like, well, we actually pre-batch a lot of the shit to cut down the time it takes to make the cocktails. And some people would say, why can't you just make it with this? It's like, well, we're adding 4 different things into this one bottle, and we're not gonna do it for this one drink There's one round that
you
you
also
might have.
already pre-batched it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's already been made.
Yeah. And fortunately, at the place I work at now, we still do most of our shit's pre-batched anyways. And while we kind of have the means to, like, one of our, let's say, like, our Paloma has mezcal. So some people will be like, oh, can I do it with tequila? It's like, maybe if you weren't asking me when there's 20 people behind you, sure, we can use the syrup that we have, the infused syrup.
I was gonna say, do you have the ingredients behind the bar to make a Paloma? Like a regular Paloma?
Like we can recreate that, but it's also like there's 20 people behind you. I mean, where our place is, just trying to pump out as many drinks as we can. That is what we do. That is what the owner emphasizes.
Like get your standard Paloma and go.
Yeah, get what's on the menu or order a 2-touch. And that's what our owner's like, yeah, do that. If it's too busy, do not worry about doing that shit.
Right.
I want you guys to get as many drinks as you can. They'll order something else. So grateful that we have an owner that's like, yeah, don't worry about it. If there's not that many people there, it's the beginning of the shift, we just opened, people are coming in, sure, make them their Paloma with tequila instead of the mezcal. So yeah,
so you're not setting out to tell people no just because it gets your rocks off.
It's, no.
I have 10 other people waiting.
Yeah,
I would love to make this for you in a different setting, but I can't make this for you right now. So all I can do based off of these parameters is give you what's already on the menu. I'm not trying to be a dick.
I am just a dick. I just like telling them no.
Yeah.
I love telling people no too when they're assholes and they're being difficult. Absolutely. I'm gonna say that no with so much gratification.
I'm just messing.
So much vim and vigor.
I'm not.
I do like saying no to people.
It's my favorite. My favorite thing to tell a guest is no.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie about that.
But about the drinks part, I'm not like real. I'm saying no, yes, but quite literally, you can't sub anything out of our drinks. Like they're made with 17 million ingredients, so they're batched. They're like, oh my god, I don't like reposado. Can I have blanco? I'm like, that's hilarious. You're getting this drink.
Yeah.
The Blanco is already in this pre-batch.
Right.
But also, like,
good luck.
I can't do anything for you about that. Like, sorry.
It's a case-to-case basis. So just because my place won't do it doesn't mean every place does. Just because every other place doesn't.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that we can.
That we can. And just because you went to fucking so-and-so's place over there and they're like, oh,
like, we did it for you.
Even if that place is across the street. Yeah. That don't mean shit to me.
Well, guess what? You can go back there.
Yeah.
Go the fuck over there.
Again, I just want to clarify why I say my favorite thing to say is no when it comes to a guest. It's not every guest. I prefer to say yes to guests. Absolutely. I'm saying my favorite thing to say to a guest is no because there are certain guests that need to hear no.
They've never been told no a day in their life.
Before.
It's like a toddler who needs to be told you can't have it.
Sir or ma'am, I cannot do it. No.
I just say pick something else. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. You cannot have your formula right now.
The menu itself, like all those drinks that are on the menu, literally are batched. I'm so sorry. I cannot switch it. But we have a full bar. You can get whatever else you want. That's fine.
Also,
I'm
be
okay
a
with
fucking
that.
adult and try something different.
Right.
I don't know.
That's
maybe you might like it.
I mean, you know what you don't like, though.
Please
you know what you don't like.
Actually try the cocktail.
Well, personally, I don't drink mezcal. But like when I go out, like if I've had to, get a drink or something like that, mezcal.
So you guys do it on purpose.
Mezcal.
Sir, I know mezcal, but I will order a chili releno.
Mezcal.
Oh man, that was worth it. All right, cool.
He's gonna kill me when the show's over. If I'm not on in the next month,
just kill me when I order a quesadilla.
I'm gonna kill you for ordering a quesadilla.
Is 12 stories enough to kill you? Because
yes.
I'm about to.
Yes. Very much so.
12 stories or 12
stories. That's how high we are.
It'll be fine. 12
Oh
stories.
yeah, 12.
I'm gonna throw this motherfucker out.
Oh yeah. 12 stories will. Yeah. If we were like on the third floor, I'd be like,
he might break his leg. He might
make it. There's a lot of tajin on this spice right now.
Wow.
Anyway, back to mezcal. Did I say it enough for you?
That's close enough.
How do you say it?
I'm willing to move on.
How do you say it?
Mezcal.
Mezcal?
Yeah, sure.
Anyway,
Yeah.
moving on. What I'm saying is I
spice
don't.
on that.
Anyway, I don't drink it very often. Like I really don't like it. Like I'll drink whiskey if I want like a little, a little spice in my life. But there's a lot of drinks like at bars that literally have that alcohol in it. And so
What do you mean that alcohol?
that alcohol,
That Mexican spirit.
the Mexican spirit. Is it from Jalisco or Oaxaca?
I do gotta interject because I had this happen
No,
on
it can't
Sunday.
be from Jalisco.
I had
Jalisco's
this happen.
tequila.
I had this happen on Sunday.
Oaxaca.
I had a group come in and they were all like, "Oh, we've been drinking tequila all night," and I was like, "All right, cool. All of my agave spirits are right here." And she's like, "No, we weren't drinking agave," and I was like,
But you were. But you were.
Punch the shit out of me.
I'm not the whitest person anymore.
No.
But you
She was
were.
Mexican. They all was. That's why I was so upset.
And they were
was
just
all
like, we're
Mexican.
drinking tequila.
How
But
the
we weren't.
fuck
But
are they
we weren't
Mexican?
drinking
I don't
agave.
fucking know. But the thing is, I looked her in her eye and said,
You're stupid.
because she's I wanted to.
They
But
were
I'm
no
saying,
sabo.
for the camera, I looked over there. I drank too much. Our agave spirits, our tequila and our mezcal, it's not necessarily separated. It's just kind of
It's all together.
it's right there. All agave
so if you don't know
spirits.
the labels, you're like kind of screwed.
And
a little
so
bit.
that's
It's
why
all right there in the Central Peninsula. I got it.
it is. But that's why I said it that way. Is like
That was a
all of our
geography
agave
lesson from
spirits,
Ryan, by the
because
way.
You're asking for tequila. All of our agave spirits are right there, and she was adamant. No, not agave. We
Wait, but
want
did
tequila.
you like ask her like what tequila have you been drinking?
No, we hadn't gotten there yet.
Oh,
they
God.
had just walked in. This is the beginning of the conversation.
Not to be an asshole, but what dumbass Mexican was this that didn't know agave was
Sir,
tequila?
I don't think you can say that.
I don't think you can say that.
I'll allow it.
Okay, he allowed it.
Because they were probably some no sabo ass fucking kids that just.
Were they young?
See, I got to pass because he said
They
no
were
sabo
old.
ass.
No, they weren't.
Okay.
Oh,
They were around my age. They should know
Ryan,
better.
next
Because
time.
that's no, I don't know in English.
Next time I'm on here, I'm bringing a little board
You know what?
where I can just tally
No.
all the bad things.
I
that you
really
said.
want you to do that
I feel
because
like that
my
would be-
entire introduction is about how white I am. So I would love that.
And I think it would just be hilarious.
I'll allow it because regardless if he's a rep or not, he knows it, and he's a white man.
So you said he's a white man?
He's a whitey.
Seaford will be whiskey.
Especially if you were around his age, you should fucking know.
Damn, what about his
you're around
age?
my age.
What about his age?
Motherfuckers. That's right, motherfuckers. If you're around my age, you should fucking know.
Hold on.
Guess whatever age that is. Yeah,
So how
guess
old
whatever
are
age.
you?
Because hold on, time out. Because guaranteed they probably know more Spanish than me. But if you don't know that tequila is a fucking agave spirit, I'm more Mexican than you. So you should
From Jalisco, Mexico, and if it's not from Jalisco,
Yeah,
it's not
I'm
called
more
tequila.
Mexican than you. I know tequila's an agave spirit.
The white man's more Mexican.
You
than
should be
Especially if you
ashamed
got the
I know
bird tattoo.
better.
and he's married to a
Especially
Puerto
if you
Rican.
got the bird tattoo and you don't know that tequila is an agave spirit.
Did they have the Hecho Mexico tattoo?
No, but they that was the only thing they were missing. I will be honest.
Oh shit.
Going through the whole conversation, listening to the way and part of what they were talking about was like, kids are so soft these days and this and that, and we used to do this and everything. And I'm like, but you didn't know tequila was an agave spirit. And it's not that I expect everyone to know it, but when you're Mexican, talking about how Mexican you are, I expect for you to know that tequila is an agave spirit.
Also, shouldn't
That's
they
all
have
I'm
a
saying.
tattoo of a bat? Because isn't...
No, that's Bacardi.
Nah, I just want to know where you're going with this. Let them cook.
No, not with Bacardi,
bat?
but like bats are the main pollinators of agave.
Yes.
Thank you.
Shit,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. He might be more
no.
Mexican than me.
That's what I said. Let them cook. I want to know where you're going.
Yeah, because like without bats, literally agave wouldn't exist.
No shit.
Yeah, like bats are.
He's
like,
more Mexican than you.
That's what I just said.
Well, let's not say that.
He can make that joke. We have established it now. Ryan gets to make that joke.
He gets that one. Very uncomfortable.
He gets one per episode.
Oh my God, guys. Ryan feels uncomfortable right now.
Wait, what?
Ryan's feeling uncomfortable.
Ryan gets one per episode now.
This is great.
But like, yeah.
Because I've been uncomfortable 3 times so far, so.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Can you say that again just for the sake of the clip, please?
Ryan is a white Mexican?
No.
He's not a Mexican.
What the hell? No, I think he's talking about the bat shit.
He's a Mexican?
Man,
He said he's a Mexican.
No.
He said he's a Mexican.
Can you reiterate about the bats?
Just say the sentence again.
Are the main, if not only, pollinators of agave, because the prey that they go for in agave plants only bats can reach. So they're already populating a whole bunch of different flowers with neutral nectar that can pollinate other plants. So when the bats go on them, get their prey, but they're the only ones who can actually hunt inside of agave. So they're the only ones who can pollinate agave. So without bats, agave would not exist.
So, in other words, kill the bees, save the bats.
No, bees are responsible for 30% of the food that
I am mad kidding. Please don't go into a bee situation
I was already
right now.
in that realm. Nando,
I was gonna say,
do
not go into a bee situation right now.
Yeah, you don't want to put his fucking company out of business.
Nando's got like a Grinch mouth going, so he's got some shit to say.
Help me get this man.
I just like knowing that bats are the BBC of the pollination world.
BBC, black.
Ding the shit out of that.
BBC, black.
BBC.
You don't date black men, so you don't know BBC.
Don't put my dating shit out here.
They are pollinating the shit out of Mexico.
You know we love them Latinos.
All right, so.
But I do too.
So I'm gonna need him to take my dating life out his mouth and leave me the fuck alone.
Why are you not a bat?
You didn't hear what he said, did you? You're still talking about bats.
No, I'm talking about pollination.
No, but you didn't hear what he said.
No, you didn't hear the other thing he said.
Yeah, nah, I said it.
You gonna say it again?
Nah, you said not to say it. Everybody gets one. I got my one.
Fuck. Oh my God. I can't.
Did my science lesson just get sexualized?
Nah.
No,
he just did the thing
he fucked with me.
Oh, fuck. That wasn't just for you. I was going.
No,
he went
for the
joke.
direction.
I sacrificed for the joke.
Yeah.
I was going for the
I
joke.
was the sacrifice?
Yeah, everybody sacrificed for my jokes.
That was a communal ding for everything.
I sacrifice for everybody because I'm a white man.
I apologize. Man. God damn, it was right there.
Anyway, big black cock. Moving on.
What?
So
It's like hearing your sister watches porn. It's like I can make that joke. You can't.
I saw some.
I'm a grown woman.
I saw some really wicked, foul shit.
Yes.
Naked foul shit?
Wicked.
Wait, what?
Wicked. Okay.
Wicked
I was like,
foul
we're
shit.
talking about BBCs. You can't be saying about that.
Chill. I saw some
There's
really
too much
wicked
tahini
shit.
in this podcast now.
Yeah. Let me finish. Ave Maria. So I saw at my bar. I'm gonna power through this. So we have a bunch of drinks that we have on our fucking taps that we pre-batch, and sometimes people don't know what they're getting, so they want to try it. Cool, whatever. My coworker poured a sample of one in a shot glass. Not even full. It's a 1.5 ounce shot glass, so it was maybe about an ounce and a quarter, maybe.
Con carne.
What the fuck is wrong with you, Ryan?
I saw. So
I was wondering how long he would be quiet.
Right. I was waiting.
Help it.
I was just waiting.
I'm sorry. I was just like, both of us were like, don't say nothing, don't say nothing.
right,
And I was
don't
like,
say anything, don't say anything.
how long can he go
And
before
then
he
you
has to
lost
say
me.
something? And then he came with that. And I was like, that's when you chose to jump in?
That was the word you chose to say.
I could barely contain myself.
I can't stand you.
He liked it.
As you were.
That was kind of funny.
It was.
Yay!
I'm not gonna encourage him.
P is gonna literally
Anyways, so
throw
this
them off.
girl, she asked for a sample of this one drink in this. In this ounce and a half shot glass, but got an ounce and a quarter that my coworker gave her, and he thought that she was just gonna try it and whatever, cool. So she took a little sip and was like, okay. And then the rest of her party ordered drinks, and then she just walked away with her sample. And for the next 20 minutes, had that exact same sample and was taking the tiniest of fucking sips. I've never seen anybody babysit a fucking sample. You want to talk about broke shit? Oh my God.
That's a callback.
I was gonna say she didn't need to be outside. She needed to be inside making some money. I don't want to commend the
Nursing.
I don't want to, but it's like, damn,
Just
you
being
are
cheap.
You want to talk about
Nah.
penny pinching?
I'm going to reiterate that is a callback. Huzzah, because this is for Rob, where he talks about that guy who goes into his job with a taster of champagne and sits with it all night. I just didn't know, and I don't mean for this to sound sexist, I just didn't know that women did that.
Oh my God.
Oh hell yeah!
Yes, they do.
Even my wife does that. She loves sample shit and
getting a sample or getting a drink bought for you or whatever. I'm saying that's different. I'm saying the broke mentality of staying in a place for an extended amount of time with a sample as the only thing you drink.
That's insane.
I've
I'd be like,
never
you're taking up
seen that
space and air. I need you to leave so I can have a paying customer come sit down.
But no, I'm saying, how bad is your personality?
Like
that no man in the vicinity, you're in a room full of men who are looking for an opportunity and no one will buy you a drink.
Thank God that has never happened to me.
Such a red fucking flag. I didn't know it existed because men love buying drinks for women that they think they're gonna fuck. So you can't even play the game enough to make this motherfucker think he's gonna get something to buy you a drink. Like, your game is so fucked up at that point.
My favorite thing is when I see a guy with a group of women,
condo roast,
and it's like trying to get them to get the more expensive. They're like, oh, let me get a shot of tequila. Oh, what do you want? Don Julio, Casamigos. And that way we can hit that threshold to autograt. Oh, I love that. I love that.
What do you mean threshold to autograt? Explain.
So, I'm not going to say the minimum, but we have a threshold. If you hit this minimum, then we will autograt on a card.
Obsessed.
So yeah, and it's
obsessed.
I like that too.
So when I see
and it's 20% obsessed.
When I see the guy that's trying to be,
he's like, I'm getting drinks from. I'm like, what are you getting?
Yeah. They're like, let me get a shot of tequila or whatever. I'm like, oh,
what kind?
What do you want? Don Julio? Yeah, Don Julio. Cool. 6 shots.
I'd be like, thank you, Daddy.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
Thanks, Daddy. You're paying my bills.
That is
roast those chicharrones.
Yeah, that's the time I will condone that shit.
Oh, for sure.
All the time.
Yeah. If you want to come up to me and say whatever they want, and we got autograt, you right. Whatever they want, you figure it out.
I mean, I've met people as a rep, and then they try to order expensive shit, and like I know the bartenders, and like, hey, they're trying to order this on your tab, and I'm like,
nope.
And for my I don't want to say defend myself for the bar, but we don't have regulars really. We have reoccurring parties where I see similar people, but there's no bar there because they don't get a chance to get to know me. Some I've gotten to know. They're really cool people, friends of the DJs, whatever. But most of the time, I'm never going to see these people again. So I don't feel the need to really try to look out for you. As long as your card goes through, we're good, man. We are
as long as you pay my rent, we're good.
Or if you do something to stand out to me to let me know that, hey, you get it, hey, we're on the same side, then I'm gonna look out for you.
I'm gonna look out for you for sure.
If you come up to me and say, you come up with by yourself or come up with one or two other women, and then you close out the first tab and you tip me appropriately, whatever you feel appropriately is. That's not saying you tip me a certain amount to get my appreciation. I'm just saying you don't stiff me. You at least let me know that you acknowledge the job that I'm doing.
You and the job that you're doing.
Exactly.
Well, depending on the customer, you might want them to stiff you.
But no.
Ryan, what is wrong with you?
A lot of things, Kia.
Also, I need to count how many times I've said, Ryan, what is wrong with you in this episode so far.
We can tally it. But what up?
We'll add it to my punch card.
She wasn't here for that.
She wasn't.
But
I'll find out soon enough.
Just saying, it doesn't matter how much money you give me. That means that I'm going to look out for you and your wallet. It's the energy you give me.
Yes.
So if you give me the appropriate energy and you come back later on and you're trying to show 5, 6, 7 other people, whether they be male, female, whatever, you're trying to show them a good time. You're saying, I'm going to take care of it, get them whatever they want. But you've already let me know, like, hey, man, I'm not a dick. I appreciate you. I appreciate the situation. You've tipped me appropriately. Then even then, I'm going to come to you and say, this person or these people are ordering the most expensive thing. Not that you can't afford it.
Oh, of course.
But are you prepared to pay for it? That's the real question. Because you can come up to me saying that you plan on spending $100 for this round. But if you don't tell me you want to spend $400 for this round, why would I charge you that? Because now I'm definitely not going to get a fucking tip. So you're
going to have to remove a few of those shots.
You're going to be so mad that you're going to give me like 10% bare minimum.
Because you feel like I let you down. I didn't have your back.
Well,
so
because to go with that,
all these women.
Well, to go with that, it's the exact opposite when, and I know you wanted to talk about this later, but I was like, this is a great part to bring this in. When the person says, I'll tip you at the end. Right. And this is going with a rapport that you're giving.
I hate
you're
that.
Giving like you're giving rapport with the guest to the bartender. And I've had many men, literally, and they're always dudes. It's okay. Again, it's not like that.
No, I just wanted to sing the song.
Okay, I thought you were going elsewhere with that.
He went with me on that.
Okay,
that was just for the song.
Keep my sex life out of it. Freaking podcast again. What?
I learned my lesson. I went for 50 Cent.
Okay, wait. So to go back,
I've never learned my lesson.
So to go back, when guys like tell me in the beginning, they're like, "Oh, Kia, I'm gonna take care of you." It's like trigger red flag warning. Like, I am not going to be taken care of.
Exactly.
Don't give
as
a
soon
fuck.
as you say that to me, I know you're not going to take care of me.
I just say, please. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, let me just get this guy what he wants and not give a shit about him because he's not going to take care of me.
You're going to be a bitch boy who gives me a $10 tip on $100. Like, you're not going to take care of me.
And it's not even that because these guys will come in and they will spend a lot of money. Their checks will be like $700. At $700, what is 20%, my friends?
I would like to add to that though. Part of it that I also feel, and please correct me if I'm wrong on this, is when someone says, "Oh, I'll take care of you at the end," they're implying that they're going to get another drink.
Which is
can
fine.
Literally turn around and your friends say, "Okay, let's go." And then you leave.
I will never
and
see
there's
you again.
No next time.
There's no next time.
At the end, which is why it says this is
an hour later you get one other drink, and so the taking care of you.
It's not about an hour later. I'm talking about the people who act like they're going to come back.
Like right now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they say, I'm going to take care of you, and then an hour later they order another drink, but they've only had 2 drinks on their tab, so I'm gonna take care of you equates to like $7.
So what we're saying though is when someone comes up to the bar off the bat, they order one drink and like, don't worry, my guy, I got you. I'm gonna take care of you tonight. Right. So in the beginning, they don't tip you like a nice amount. Which again, I do the exact opposite. When I go to a bar and I like the energy that the bartender is giving me, immediately I give them a not ridiculous tip, but like
30%. Yeah, I do the same thing.
A little over than what I should.
Just
so when I come back the
next
next time, they know me, and I'm not asking for a discount. I'm not asking for anything free, but just so they know, hey, we're here.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so as the night progresses, and I'm not gonna keep continuously doing like $10 for every like one, you know what I mean? But I'll kind of lower it, but then I'll get to the point that towards the end of the night, honest to God, half the shit I get is free. But that's one way to do it. But I'm not saying this will work for everybody, so please don't go out there.
It doesn't always work.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like, I'll tip you at the end is like the worst thing you could say to a bartender. Right. I would rather you not tell me this, tip me shittily so I can move on with my life.
Mm-hmm. Instead of being extra mad that you said that and then you gave me $2 on a $200 tab.
Exactly.
Well, no, the majority of the people who say they're going to take care of you at the end, they give you nothing on the front end. That's the whole point. The people who come out here telling you in the beginning, I'm taking care of you at the end, they are implying that there will be an end.
Yeah.
As it says here, no, this is the end of the transaction.
The end of the transaction right
tip
now.
me now. If you only want to tip me $5 all night, tip me $5 on the front one.
And
don't tip me the rest of the time for any other time you came in. At least I got the $5. Don't tell me I might get $5 at the end if I remember. Yeah. And then you leave. Or you just don't tip me.
Because I'm also not gonna go ahead and be like, hey, yo, hey man,
this is
before you leave, dude, you said
you were gonna get me, my guy.
Right. Yeah, we're not gonna say that because that's awful.
That's fucking stupid.
But whenever I go to concert venues, because a great tip at concert venues, if you order a water and one drink for you and your buddy, and you tip the bartender $10 at that concert venue, you can skip the line the whole time.
Right.
He'll give you whatever you want.
Right.
If you keep giving like $10.
But remember what you just said. In the beginning.
So that's in the beginning.
But also
tip
but
$10.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's what I'm saying to everybody out there. In the beginning.
Time out. I've been wanting to address this because this is not a quote that I came up with, and I've been trying and find a way to get in there and say something. This is something based off of a TikTok video that I seen by the creator, by the Barcode, who is fucking hilarious and great, and he does skits like that, and that's why I put it up there, because I feel like it's something that resonates with almost everybody across America that is a bartender. It's like, again, this is the end. After this is nothing. You may come back, you may not. Who the fuck knows? But this is it. So when you say that, it's like, all right, well, I guess have a good fucking night, whatever. But that is by the Barcode. That is the name. They're fucking dope.
Absolutely. Thank you for making sure that.
The way to get around that, though, I will say, if you ever come in, you don't need to say that. Money talks. If you put money in my hand, we're in business.
Yes, it does.
And that's what I wanted to say, especially with the venues, like if you go to shows and stuff like that, and if you go to like concerts or whatever, anywhere that has like a social bar, I've always just been like very generous in that first greeting that I meet them. And every time I've gone back, go get another drink, I feel like they're trying to kill me with the amount of like tequila they pour in the glass. Like,
oh, hell yeah. Or they let me skip the entire line because they see me and they're
like, hey, come here. And you're like, yeah, totally.
And it's like, I want 1 and 2. And they're like, okay. And you give them another like $5. But like, still, you're already taken care of because your first 2 drinks, you already did 50% on the tip. So they're like, you're already going to treat me. So like, I'm going to give you this thing. It's still going to be 30% that you're going to tip me with that $5. So it's like, here's your way over poured tequila or your way over poured whiskey. And I'm still going to give you a 30% tip. Here you go. So it's like knowing where you are too, like concert venues, you know, everybody's
Sports
already going to be like, so upset that people have $90 tabs and they give you $2 in a tip. If you get a water and 1 drink and you give them a $10 tip, you get whatever the fuck you want.
I'm going to be very honest with all of you. If you go somewhere and your tab is $100 because you drunkenly chose to buy everyone shots, I have been there. It has been me. Tip, please. Like, it's not the bartender's fault.
Yeah.
That you got fucked up and said, does anyone want a shot? And you end up buying like 10 shots for people, and now your bill is $220. And that's your fault. You got drunk. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Give the $40 that they deserve and go.
It's
the equivalent of the make it strong people that have not tipped you anything, have not taken any energy to get to know you or have any interaction with you. I wish I would have taken a tally of the amount of times I heard make it strong.
Oh, yeah.
Which is funny because I only worked 3 days.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, I was in the double digits.
Like
that
this
people
weekend?
that people were like, oh, make it strong. Oh, make it strong. And some of them wouldn't say anything to me because they'd be with someone else.
Yeah, they
and
wouldn't
then
even
as
like,
I'm
look
making
at you,
the drink,
ask you your
they're
name
like,
or anything.
Make it strong, though.
And you're like,
and it's nah.
It's going to be regular.
My favorite thing to do when someone says make it strong, especially if I'm already making the cocktail and I'm pouring it and they're like, make it strong. And then I finish and I put the drink in front of them. And I don't say shit.
Like,
I made it how I made it.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm giving you the same energy you gave me. How do you feel?
I had a guy do that to me and say, make my drink. He said, don't have the bartender use that thingy. He meant a jigger.
He
meant the actual like jigger.
Don't use the thingy.
He literally told me, he was like, don't have the bartender use the thingy. She knows how I like my drinks. He's like, I got you in the end. He said it. And I was like, I'm so annoyed.
I would literally just charge them for a double.
Oh, I did. I charged him for a double. It was 1942. I was like, I don't give a fuck. Charging you for a double. He didn't want her to use the thingy. So I went to the bartender and I was like, yo, girl. I was like, do you remember that guy who said don't use the thingy? And she was like, oh my God. He will not tip you. I know this because he didn't tip me. And I was like, thank you so much for reiterating what I already knew was going to happen. You can use the jigger. Thank you.
Make it a double.
Yeah.
I was like,
Use the thingy.
use the thingy, make it a double. I've already charged him for it. Thank you so much. I was like, you are insane.
And at that point, too, I just make it a double by like just doing the one outside twice in front of them. Because customers don't know how jigger works.
That's true, but some people can tell when a glass is short. I mean, I work at a place where like I have a lot of very rich people.
Sometimes
who,
when
know
people
their
say
stuff.
make it a double, I'll like do the regular on the big side. And then they're like, oh, make it strong. I'm like, okay. And I flip it over to the small side and do like a half an ounce and pour it in.
I'm just
and
saying,
then
like,
they're happy.
I have like customers who like literally like they are super rich and they know what they like to drink and how it's supposed to look in a glass when they get it. Like, you can't cheat these people, which I wouldn't want to because they're actually some people, some of them are
I've
really
cheated
cool or
those
whatever.
people.
I
very
I
much
tap out.
cheated those people.
My okay, so I'll say my go-to is
I'm tapping out.
my go-to is when I'm using the jigger and we have our pour spouts is that when they say make it strong, our standard pour is a 2 ounce. When I'm pouring it in there, when it gets to the 1.5, starts to tip it over, still pouring and then still counting to make sure it
That's a good
still
one.
evens out to 2 ounces. But they see and they're like, oh, he let it go for a little bit. Sure, buddy.
Ooh.
Sure. I was just like,
buddy.
I mean, but at the end of the day, that's all they were asking for.
yeah,
They've given you nothing. They've asked for everything. So you give it back. I gave you nothing.
Have you ever done this
What you
if a drink ever comes back to your well, like from a server, and they're like, it's not strong enough? Have you ever just taken the bottle and poured it in the straw?
So
That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
I have never
trick.
done that. I know a lot of bartenders who have. I will say though that I'm on it, Ryan. I will say though that
You were
the
just
main,
talking.
yeah, that's what I'm doing. I will say though, the main thing that I will always factor in when it comes to pouring into a straw or trying to trick the guest is if they're only asking for the drink to taste strong or asking to taste the alcohol. All right, well, that's up to you if you want to give them the false image when they're not going to take care of you, or if you just shut it down and say, no, you get what you get or you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
So it always comes down to that. I'm not going to let a guest put me in a position where I'm going to get fired. I just refuse to do that.
I don't think you'd get fired over that.
I've seen people get fired over it.
I got fired over it.
The straw thing?
Not the straw thing, but like doing a shot with a customer.
Well, that's different. You're drinking on the job. Sorry.
A little bit.
That's different. You're drinking on the job.
But they had never cared before, but it was when I was trying to unionize the entire staff because they knew how fucked up everything was.
Yeah, they fired you for like a different cause. I feel like this is a different.
Oh, they absolutely did. Yeah.
I feel like this is a different. I feel like this is a different like story though, like what he was going for, because that is different, and I'd like to talk about like another time because that's
we'll
very.
Talk about that.
I was like, we'll talk about that another time because that's actually a very
very poignant. Yes.
Very poignant topic. But what you were saying, please say it a revised version again.
Well, my main thing is just that when it comes to a guest perception is always steered by the person giving them that perception.
Yes.
So the person who's working there, I or someone else can shape that perception.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to me pouring down a straw, or I remember old server trick was turn the straw upside down, and then like all these different tricks.
There's a bunch
of different
tricks.
things.
But also, if someone was a drink super strong like that, that's not. Again, we've all had to take a test in the state of California to work at these bars.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I am not legally allowed to just like pour you whatever the hell I want.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm not losing my job over because you ordered this sugary, sweet ass drink and it's not strong enough for you.
Right.
I'm so sorry, but that's not me. So if I pour a little bit in your straw and you think it's stronger now, guess who gets to keep her job?
Right.
Me.
Right.
So that's what I was saying about that, because I was like, you were saying you're going to lose your job, and I was like, I don't think you're going to lose your job.
I'm saying losing the job when it comes to the people who are asking you to make it strong, the people who are asking you to pour a double when they've not paid for a double.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to lose my job over it. So if I have to come up with these different ways to make the drink taste stronger for you because you have an alcohol problem, all right, then that's not my problem. But I'm going to do the best I can to keep my job while also making you, the guest, feel comfortable.
I mean, have you ever tried to keep your job while the managers tell you to pour a double for free?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they do that all the time.
Way too many times.
But like, that's like a daily occurrence.
Over that.
No.
But yeah, that's a.
Especially
but that's like that's a normal.
Extremely
thing.
drunk patrons that were regulars that the owners knew, and I'm like, I'm not serving this person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they asked for a double, and I'm like, nope, I'm gonna give them more.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I should not do this or I am going to jail. And they're like, just shut up and fucking pour them. And I'm like, no.
You kind of have grounds
You
to
can
sue.
do that, and I will videotape you doing that, but I'm not going to do that.
Absolutely.
Huh. Yeah. I mean, I've worked with people who've, given shots to people, like, whatever, like they ask you like, hey, can I get 2 of these, blah, blah, and you're like, yeah, sure. You can't really get fired. Like, personally, you can't get, if you did, you have grounds to sue, but you can't really get fired for, if your management staff wants like shots.
It was management staff, it was customers that I told the management staff I should not serve them, and they said serve them anyways.
Right, but that again is
in Glendale,
right, but that's again the management telling you to do a thing that you've already said no to the guest to, which is what she's saying.
That's what I mean.
You can't be fired for that because you're not liable. You have already said no. You've already covered your ass. Your CYA. Yeah, you're good. You have been told by your superior to do a thing, and then you did it. They are now legally liable.
That's after the 4th argument. I finally did it. And then they got into a bar fight outside. And
that's
I was
what's
like,
up.
well,
At least it was outside.
I guess this is your guys' problem now.
Speaking of outside, we're going to go ahead and shut this down for this week.
Wait, one more thing. Before I forget. I had this, and I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to shit on them. I had this British guy. I wanted to throw this in there. He asked me for a vodka tonic. And then, our standard pour is 2 ounces. He came back. He's like, any vodka in this? Like, yeah. He's like, bit light, isn't it? This 2 ounces. Do you want a double? No, it's fine. Walk the fuck off. Again, pay for what you want.
You want a vodka double? Get the vodka double. No one's
right. Just tell us you want the vodka double.
No one is angry at you.
Oh, here go.
You get what you pay for.
I love my British people, but
I loved your British accent.
And seeing as how this is free, you get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for, baby.
Bye, everybody.